Welcome, everybody. Thank you for stopping by the Bob Dodd Show. Today, I have two family members, my brother, Bill, and my cousin, Greg.
Woo! Yeah.
All right, it's going to be a fun show. You're going to hear a lot of crazy stuff, and I know you're going to enjoy it in your morning ride or your ride home. So, Bill and Greg, tell me a little bit about yourselves, besides that you're my bigger brother that beat me up when I was young and my coolest cousin that I have.
You don't know anything about me, huh? He forgot, Greg. I hit him with that baseball a little too hard.
Remember to talk into the microphone.
Right.
Because they're not going to hear you.
Yeah. Talking to the mic.
Talking to the mic.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the cameras. They're not here.
What cameras?
Exactly.
Oh, I thought this was just voice.
No, this is camera and...
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's why I shaved. I was like...
Tell me about yourself, Bill.
Oh, it's a short story, man. I'm only like 5. I'm 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
And, you know...
MMA champion of Sheraden, right?
Sheraden,
Yeah.
Sheraden, Pennsylvania.
Sheraden Roughneck from the hub.
That's right. That's right, dude.
From the hood.
Yep, from the hood.
Dirty brown belt from Elliott. And
You know, I had Ethan's jiu-jitsu coach on, and that was a lot of fun. I told him about you, and he was like, oh, if he ever comes to Georgia, you know, tell him to swing by.
oh, I love it. I miss it. I miss jiu-jitsu big time. Yeah. The trade that I'm in right now takes a lot of time, and I haven't been able to go, but
Talk into the mic
soon.
so people can hear you.
Soon.
Turn the mic this way so you can hear it. Actually, look at us. No, like put the
I'm
mic.
a pro at this, bro. Know what I'm doing. Hold on. There we go.
There you go.
Come on,
There we
dude.
go.
Like, haven't you watched enough boxing?
Is this
and
your
MMA?
first podcast or something?
Right. I'm usually getting interviewed, not like...
You are getting interviewed.
Oh, that's right. Someone else is holding the mic.
Someone else.
Man, going through all them
Not
boxing.
guilty.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, man.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Never been down that road.
So I asked my family to come on just to share stories and stuff. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania right now, and we are here helping my parents out with some stuff around the house. Bill knocked it out of the park. He pointed the chimney, caulked all the caulk, and
I can't talk about that for tax purposes.
Easy.
but
You went up and did the chimney.
no,
Santa Claus ain't never getting down that one again. I'll let you know.
Sealed it up.
It's done.
man. But yeah, no. Thanks to Bill, my mom's house is back in order for the most part, and he took us to Top Golf yesterday.
You've been to Top Golf?
Yeah.
I love that place.
Do you really?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna
okay.
fix
No.
Bill's thing.
You can
Turn your body this way.
you can
There you go.
you can play games there. Not only golf.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you don't have to be good at golf. All you gotta do is be good at the game.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
It's great. You don't have to hit 400-foot, drives. You
It
can
is
just
fun to,
follow the instructions on the game and you win. Like his son played my sons and Cody, and all I did was instruct him. Hey, bro, see the little purple dots right up there? Just hit them purple dots. You can't see them on this course, but on there, and he did. He hit them. Huh. And of course, he won by 50,000 points.
He won?
He won. I coached him. That's right.
See, that's because
man.
I've been there with adults, and they're all probably too serious. And
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I was just
They all
like,
want to hit the perfect shot far.
I had 3. Like, I'm not a golfer by any means, but I had 3 nice hits where it's like,
No,
whack.
he's good. He's actually he can hit. He can hit. I'm terrible.
I've been golfing 3 times in my entire life, and the third
Right.
time was with Bill.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got an outing on Friday.
He's like a pro.
Where do you play?
This is an outing at Moon Golf Course, Golf Club, whatever. It's
Nice.
it's a charity outing. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Last year I played about 14, 15 times.
That's 18 holes out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This year I haven't played at all, so I'll be out there just hacking.
Just
and-
rusty.
Yeah. Yeah. And my clubs are older than probably you.
Oh, man. I picked up Carl's Club. I used Carl's Club, and it's like you don't even know you're holding it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine are from Play It Again Sports. Remember that place that went out of business 20 years ago? I think I paid
Different colors.
Yeah, I paid $99 for them.
One's wrapped in brown leather. The other one,
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
One's got a big plastic end. It's like this
the
big.
cover says Mike. It's like, it's just,
Oh, man.
it's
Yeah.
a title.
Dude, the golfing, I suck at it so bad. And Carl is real good. But
Yeah.
Angela, was basically Carl's competition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And she doesn't golf too much, but yeah, she was keeping up. And I was just like, man, I suck at this. And then Billy's telling me I'm good at it. I'm like, you don't know.
You ran it pretty straight. I remember Carl came out when my dad was able to play. He came out to Oceanside, and we went to Oceanside Municipal, and we don't have very many storms out there. It was like a hurricane. So I had a lot of excuses, boy. I lost like 16 balls.
Oh, dude.
And if you ask Carl about it, it was like I had a rain jacket on, and I don't know how they played. I just went out and was kicking my ball back on the course.
Dude.
No one else was on there.
Foot wedge.
Why do you
Yeah.
think? Why do you think there's no golf courses in Sheraden?
There is.
What?
There's a golf course in Sheraden.
Maybe McKee's Rocks.
What?
It's a golf
That's not-
school. Yeah. It's right where Allied used to be.
Yeah, across the street.
Yeah.
Like a driving range stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there used to be a golf course there.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if it just.
I remember
changed into-
going with my dad and your dad. This is probably before you guys were
Hey,
even
remember to talk real close to the
Sorry.
mic. There's no this. We sound like we're.
Hey,
in
I
a-
didn't know it was gonna be on a low budget film here, bro. All right. I thought this was high class.
This is real high quality, man.
It is.
This is real high
It
quality.
looks like it.
We're
but
just
it-
doing it wrong.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you know.
Just the setup alone, I was impressed. I'm like, whoa.
I know I don't have
I
low
started
quality
getting
guests.
nervous.
so-
I'm like, can I? I was gonna ask if I could help, and I'm looking. I'm like,
I don't want to break anything.
No, dude, it's so funny how much all this stuff costs, you know, and it's like all from China and the cheap stuff. If I would have went like the real route and got all the like actual stuff that I would want to buy,
we wouldn't have to be all close and like.
no, you wouldn't. You could probably fart and I wouldn't hear it.
I did 3 times.
I didn't know. I smelled it.
Greg was. I seen him look
That's why
around
I'm
like,
sweating.
is that me?
Dude,
No.
man, dude, I always talk about my friends and that live in Pittsburgh to my friends that live in Georgia, and I try to tell them how like nice Sheraden used to be and how bad it is now. Like, can you describe how bad Sheraden has got over the time?
It's undescribable. You can't know. It's like a picture. You know what I mean? You could take a picture of the sunset or a blood moon. I mean, you guys, a couple nights ago, it was a blood moon. You could take a picture of it all you want with any kind of camera, but if you ain't seen it with your own eyes, you just don't get the gist.
Yeah. Even right next door.
Yeah, the house
That house next door is.
right on the main road. There's like 8 houses that are all condemned on the main road coming into the.
I remember coming here as a kid. This is before you guys were even born, because there used to be a bike shop up on the main street,
Yeah.
and you know my dad would bring us over, and we'd be over at your parents' house.
Schubert's, right?
riding
Wasn't
bikes.
it?
Schubert's,
Schubert's, yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
I remember, yeah.
And yeah, you could run around here. You know, we'd run around the neighborhood, and nowadays I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
Unsupervised, you know.
I remember bringing Angela over here for the very first time, and me and Billy, we were having dinner here. This was when Billy lived in Moon, and drug dealers were out there. And Mom goes, "Oh no, 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 no!" And she went outside, like, "Get out of here!
You're out of here.
Get out of here!" And the guy was like, "Shut up, bitch!" And I'm
What?
like, you were here, yeah. And then you got all mad and you like stormed off. And I was like, "I got to go help my brother. Hold on." And then you were like, you said something about like, "Get out of here, dude. We're gonna call the cops." And then the dude was like, "F you," and left. So you don't remember that, dude? It was me, you, and Angela. This is like before I was even married.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets crazy.
Yeah.
Like my mom was telling me, I guess the city contacted her and wanted to put shot contacts on the house so they can triangulate. If a shot went off, they can kind of triangulate
yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
coming from. And she's like, no.
Yeah. It becomes part of the
No, what do you-
system.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to have somebody come up here, trying to shoot that thing off my house because they don't want
Exactly.
They gotta commit a murder.
Are there that many shots here?
Yeah. There's a lot of gunfire around here.
I don't know, but I'm assuming they're deaf, so they
Yeah, I know.
it's perfect for them. They don't hear shit.
There
They're
was
just like,
yesterday there was like 2 or 3 gunshots.
yeah. See,
Were you staying here?
It was during the day. I was here
really?
helping him.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, it's Sheraden. It's, it was like, it was rough.
Yeah.
Because that's where our fathers came from, and you heard all the stories from them. But it was rough, but it wasn't bad, if that makes it.
Yeah. No, you could walk your dog.
Yeah.
You could walk your dog, but like if you went into the
and
wrong
it wasn't
bar.
a pit bull. It was just a regular.
It was
dog.
just a regular dog.
Yeah. I think
It
it was.
wasn't a golden doodle because they didn't have those back then. but-
No, they just come out with those, huh?
Yeah, they made them.
The golden doodles.
The golden doodle.
I think that originated from California.
You can add a doodle to anything.
Dude.
It's not. Yeah, those are the real the tall ones.
I'm gonna get a
right?
pit doodle.
Oh, I want in line for that one, bro. For sure.
Be a really nasty, cute dog.
Right?
What would the pit doodle look like? Should I
Let's use our imagination here.
Should I
I don't know.
AI and grok
It's
it?
got to
AI.
have muscles, right?
Ask AI.
Like
oh
a
yeah,
port-
yeah.
side
But it's gonna
part or
be, but it's gonna
middle
be
part
very
in the
pretty.
hair?
It's gonna be a very pretty,
Right?
mean ass dog.
It's gonna
So
have
people
like
will be like, "Can I pet your dog?" Need my brother to do
Does
it.
your dog
I need
bite?
Gary to do the dog imitation. That ain't my dog.
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet that dog?
Can I pet
Did
your
the dog
dog?
bite?
Who's your dog?
Sure.
Yeah.
I thought you said your dog didn't bite.
Oh man.
That's not my dog.
That is not my dog.
Yeah, that's a dad joke from way back.
Oh
Is
man.
that Benny Hill or what? I remember Benny Hill. That used to be like, oh, I love that, bro. Yeah. See,
Dude.
they need some Benny Hill on. I mean, people would be like less, I don't know, like less
Less uptight.
Yeah, really, like
Ease
less
up.
uptight, just less literal. You know, take
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Laugh about something.
Laugh
and saying,
about something. Laugh
There's
about
laugh-
yourself.
I'm triggered.
Laughing is illegal
Yeah.
nowadays.
You can't laugh at anything.
Well, I mean, I think Shane Gillis is what's really like broke the ice on bringing like humor back. Like,
Yeah.
especially when it's like kind of like raunchy and sort of like borderline racist, but still funny to laugh
He
at.
sticks up for the white guy a little bit. I gotta say it. You know, I'll be the one. I like when we went to see him in concert. You know, and it was
I have,
You
I
know?
have not seen him.
Come on,
I'm
Greg,
not
up to the
familiar.
mic, up to the mic.
I'm
He's
not
chill.
familiar.
he's actually from Philly, I think. His dad's
he?
from Philadelphia. Yeah, he talks about his dad's a big, you know.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Like he's like my dad. He's
From
sits in front of.
Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Is that what it says? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
His
Mechanicsburg.
dad sits in front of the Fox News channel and talks shit, you know, and I'm like, well, I can relate. So I'm like, you know, dad's racist. I'm like, well, my dad's not really racist.
Yeah.
Well, he's not. But
Like, no, it's like I got in trouble at school one time, and I got put in in-house detention, and there was a black gal and a black lady. Oh man, what was her name? Oh, not Miss Pollard. I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry. I can't remember her name, but we'll just say Miss Pollard, right? And I fell asleep in there, and she woke me up, and she was like, "Mr. Dodd, I want you to wake up, and since you fell asleep, you will fill out this little or write, you know, something in these lines." And I was like, "Miss Pollard, you're crazy." She was like, "Okay, right, Miss Pollard, you are crazy in all these lines." I'm like, "You don't get it?" And she was like, "Mr. Dodd, I know your father, Bill. I will call him." I say, "You have another pen?" I was like, so I'm like, I didn't believe it.
I'll
I
get
didn't
right
know,
on that.
Yeah, I didn't know. So I'm like, I went home. And I'm like, "Hey, Dad, do you know some lady, Miss Pollard?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's a nice lady. Why?" I'm like, "Nothing.
just checking.
Just checking."
Oh man.
I was
no
"All right,
reason.
she wasn't lying.
She said hi.
yeah, right. She wasn't lying. All right. Oh, good.
Yeah, Dad and Uncle Frank had a lot of stories helping folks out around here.
Oh my! There's so many. There's too many, dude. Like I went with my dad.
It runs in the family.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my dad, I mean, he used to be a jitney.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
Yeah,
He used
I
to work
remember
for
that.
Government Cheese.
yeah.
He'd go take somebody shopping and then, you know, drop them back off in Sheraden or wherever.
Yeah.
And they'd give him like, "Oh, here's some gas money. Here's $2." And
Yeah.
one lady gave him a block of cheese, and that was his payment. And
Yeah.
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 That's it. That runs in our. Well, I don't know if it runs in our blood, but our parents' blood.
It did because they just
Very
helped the
charitable
community.
people.
Yeah, well, yeah, charitables. Dude, we worked on like so many jobs where Dad was like, "Looks like I'm not getting paid this time because, you know, Mrs. Jackson doesn't realize that her wood is gone." Like when we worked up in Lincoln Larimore, it's like one of the worst areas in Pittsburgh.
you're-
and
Frank and Bill always. I worked when I did work for them for a summer. Always in those areas.
Always.
Homewood. Yeah.
yeah, so
Because it was the seller he used to work because he used to work for a bunch of sales guys. I forget
Yep.
one guy's name.
Guy was on Murray Avenue.
Yeah, and then there was John Marcus. I don't know if you remember him.
That name sounds familiar.
yeah,
He
dude.
used to go out to West Virginia and find these poor podunks and like just sell them everything, you know. And I like we're there one time and his name was John Marcus, and he had a tattoo of a dagger and then a
Yeah.
stripper lady on his arm. You know,
Boy,
And
that
it's
sounds
like
familiar. Because I remember
the
doing a
hairy
job.
chest with the gold chain open up, and he was fast talker.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
was like the one time we were there, and he's making the lady and the husband and the wife argue. Because the husband wanted new windows and a deck and everything, and John Mark is in there trying to sell a kitchen. He already sold him on. He already sold him on the deck and the windows, and he's trying to sell him on the kitchen. And he's like,
I remember one of those jobs
you
down
got
in-
your brand new truck here, and she's got a slave in this dungeon. Look at this dungeon. And he sold the kitchen.
Sold the kitchen. I remember the Carmichael's PA, which back in the day that was a hike. But I remember like the first job I ever did with the uncles, Bill, Frank, and Uncle Don.
Yeah.
Uncle Don was still around. That was down in Carmichael's PA, and nobody told me shit. They're like, hey, we're gonna go do roofing and siding, and road in the back of the truck, like the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
Down to the Carmichael's, which is what, hour and a half? I don't know. Back of the truck. I'm in tennis shoes. I'm lucky if I probably don't even have socks on. I'm maybe 16, 15 years old. They stick me up on this roof. It's tin. It's like 100 degrees out. My shoes are melting on the roof. They're laughing at me, It's like, welcome to...
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I got some crazy memories of working with those guys.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah. I remember like the first time like I ever remember being like almost shit in my pants. It was like, how they have the scaffolding where they set the wooden poles up. Mm-hmm. Well, they go and do crazy shit where there's got to be a pole on top of a pole.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You have this like Band-Aid on it, and then you go above that, and we're like 60 feet in the air, and my dad's walking around like it's nothing, and I'm like trying to grab onto shit, and he's like, "Move! I gotta get around you." And I'm like, "All right," and he jumps in the air, boom, and I just see this thing go, whoa, whoa. Like I see the window that I'm at, right, is like here, and then I see it go, and then I go back up.
Do you guys remember Uncle Don?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Gary tells this story. Maybe you were at this job, but Uncle Don would get up on. I mean, Uncle Don was 350,
Oh, he's a
400
big-
in his prime.
yeah,
Big
big
boy,
guy.
big boy. And Gary's up on the scaffolding, and Gary would just piss him off all the time. And if you piss Gary off, Gary's a hothead. And if you piss Gary off, he would just leave the job. Well, apparently he pissed Uncle Don off, and Uncle Don goes up the ladder, gets on the scaffolding, and starts jumping up and down on the scaffolding. And Gary said, "It's going." But yeah, they were a little crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And do you remember Jack?
Yeah.
Jack Dodd? He was like a biker, and so I've heard so many stories about that guy.
Dude, he was on
And-
Discovery Channel. Mike Dodd was telling me about how he was on Discovery Channel because he was with the Hells Angels and then the Mongols, and people wanted to kill him.
I don't never heard that. I know like Dale used to tell me stories about like when he was in Arizona, and he would come up to Arizona.
Dude, you got to talk to the mic, man.
He would come up to Arizona and tell Dale, like, "Hey, I gotta hang out here for a couple months." And then next thing you know, he's like, "Yeah, he's writing me from San Quentin." And then he would come back, and he's got a brand new Cadillac, But Frankie was telling me, like, he was like, I was like, because Frankie's big, you know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, like, you work with Jack? And he's like, yeah, that fucking dude scared the fuck out of me, man. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, we were working, and there was a slate roof, and I was like, I just hit a piece of slate, and it went down and hit his hand. And I was like, oh, hey, man, Jack, I'm sorry. He was like, it's all right. Right. And then like the next day, Frankie says I'm working and I'm right next to Jack, and he takes his knife and he's like, he's made a comment about being hot or something, and Jack's like, and cut his pants. Like, cut him too. He's like, how's that help you out?
I'm not hot now, are you?
Yeah, Frankie's like, oh my God. Like, dude, he's
dude.
like, he told me he didn't go back to work until Jack was off the job. I was like, wow.
What wedding did he come to? He came with a bunch of bikers, or was it a family reunion?
I think maybe it was a family reunion.
Yeah. He came with a
that
bunch
was
of bikers.
a while ago. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was like, stay away.
Well,
Dad's the same way? Oh, wow.
not Donnie was in a gang too, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know which one.
I don't know
it
which one
was.
he was in. I mean, it wasn't like
Vets
Hell's
Club?
Angels or anything, but
No. What's that?
like the Vets Club.
But, and to everyone who doesn't really know, Vets Club is like just what it means. It's like
The vets.
a club for the veterans. But
Was he a vet?
it's actually the Flea's Nest.
Was Donnie a vet?
No,
don't
but he
think
was a member of the Vets Club. Anyone could be a member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, all the proceeds went to the vets. Yeah. I don't know. I just remember.
You know how old that club is? That was in Sheraden for a very long time. And I would love to tell you about some of the bylaws, but I don't want to get them in trouble.
Are they still around? Is the Vets Club still there?
I believe it is. I believe unmarked and duly, that's the way it should be. And
What was the one
it's
in
a private club.
What was the one over in Elliott?
An Ala Club?
No, that was
No, that's down on this.
that's for like people who are trying to recover.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the one that's like where Dad's shop used to be? You go up there where.
That was the Dago Club. That was
the
after
Dago Club?
hours. Yeah.
Okay, after hours.
Dago Club
Okay.
was after hours. Yeah, I remember that, man. Petey Mercurio, his dad used to work down there, and it was like. So, Petey Mercurio was my buddy, and his dad's name was Nicky, and whatever. And Nicky Mercurio used to leave at I used to love staying at Pete's house because his dad would leave, and then he go down to Dago Club,
Yeah.
and me and Petey would go downstairs and pop a couple, the old,
Get a couple
the
cold
old,
ones. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the old irons.
Pull the
where
top.
and you got to peel it back,
Yep.
And a couple times he was like, Nicky would say, hey, come down and do whatever. So we had to bring him something. I don't know what it was. Bring me that bag. And they're like, all right, cool. We go down and we had to ring the bell. And the guy would the little curtain
You
would
had a little-
open.
yeah. What's the
And the door
password?
would open and the guy would say, yeah, go upstairs. And you run upstairs and it's all pool tables, but no one's playing pool. Everyone's playing cards.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, what do you want? You want a pizza? Go get some pizza, Petey. Petey, go get some pizza. And you go grab some pizza. And
Man.
that and like I just mentioned, the Vets Club, my dad was a terrible gambler. That's what.
Yeah, I know.
Terrible. Terrible.
I know.
I swear this guy.
I went to the track a couple times with him.
Oh my
but
god!
Picking
But I
up
love
tickets.
dude. I loved it. But his bookie used to be up in the Vets Club. Some guy, and it was a long staircase, and he'd always be like, "Hey, run this envelope up, Daddy." I said his name. Oh well. Anyway, so I go ring the bell, and I'd run up. And they'd be like, "Little Billy, what's up?" And I run over and hand a guy, "Well, you want a Coke? Is your dad coming up?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Come shoot some pool." And I'll get a Coke and start shooting pool. And next thing you know, he's parked going up.
yeah.
I love that, dude. I love that place. It was the best place. Probably because they treated me so good. When my dad come up, he was like, "Come on, Bill, have a drink, have a drink." And he's looking at me like, "All right." He'd have a beer, and then I fell in love with pool
Oh, yeah.
at the Vets Club. Yeah.
You played pool like serious for a while. Just like going. I remember you
did,
going up
but
to
it
Parkway
was-
Center Mall, and you had your own sticks.
Yeah, man, I was into it, but
Did you play at the Can
Dominant-
Room? Noble
No.
Manor?
no.
Bowling alley there? No?
No, we used to play down there, but no, I actually even when I went out to California, I was into it, looking for leagues and stuff. But then my dominant eye, my right eye, just failed. I don't know what happened. Like 1 year, I got an
Age.
expensive stick. Yeah, got an expensive stick, and I just could not win a match. It was terrible.
Huh.
I went to the doctor and I was like, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And then he did the eye thing, and he said, "Well, your left eye has become your dominant eye." I'm like, "Well, what can I do?" He's like, "Start shooting lefty."
Change. How old are you? How old are you?
38? No, 52.
You're 52.
52.
All right. So you're 9 years younger than me. All right.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
too far behind.
No, I got the eye surgery though at what was it? 22?
Oh, LASIK.
23? Yeah, I got LASIK.
Well, that stuff doesn't stay the whole, your entire life, right?
No, not entirely. It's it's so wherever you're at in life, it's going to reset you to 2020, and then it's up to you and your eyes to decide. Just like you would if you were 2020 at 20 years old. However, it would take.
I'm still 2020, mother.
Right? No, I'm not that anymore.
I am.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I need readers, but I'm still 2020 from.
Dude, that's amazing. That's good. That's good genes. That's really good genes.
My eyes suck.
I'm lucky I'm not cross-eyed. I'm like,
Dude.
I had surgery, and then I went and I got another. I couldn't get the LASIK. I had to get something else, and I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, no, now that I think about it, nobody in my family has glasses.
No, that's good.
I mean, we have readers now because we're all
yeah,
old.
yeah,
But none of us had. I don't think any of us had glasses.
yeah.
Man.
I had the ones that you can see far and close. You know, depending on how drunk you were. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm being abducted.
We must have got that. We must have got the Riccadella eyes, instead of the Dodd eyes. I don't know.
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Pittsburgh is, sometimes I miss it. When I come back, though, it's just like, man, maybe I don't miss it. I come in Sheraden. I don't know what the problem is. Like, every other house is abandoned, fallen down, dilapidated.
Yeah, you were at a time
Like,
when
there aren't even
everyone-
any drug dealers here anymore.
It's like the house next door. It costs too much money to knock it down and put another house in. Nobody's gonna. There's no value here because the market's so depressed that you build a $200,000 house. Nobody's gonna pay for that here.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna pay what 12, 15 grand just to knock it down.
Yeah. We heard they're going to rip down now.
I actually went downtown. Me and my mom went to look at that house to see, you know, if there was any. Because we seen the guy. He lives down the street who owns it, and he was like, "Yeah, give me $500." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I just want it out of my name." And so we went and looked at downtown, and the county lady was like,
Back taxes.
she was like, "You might want to run a check on this." And I'm like, "How much is the check?" And she's like, $350. I'm like, "That ain't bad." And she was like, "Honey, I'm gonna let you know right now. It's
ain't
been
worth
through
it.
3 sheriff sales."
And nobody bought it.
No one bought it. And they're like, "Don't waste your $350." But they did have it on. It was like on one of those realtor sites, and it was 53,000. I'm like, what?
No way.
53 grand? Come on.
Way.
That's the
Like,
get
so
level.
that was the bank. I think it was the bank.
That's probably what they were
just
owed.
seeing if they
Yeah.
could like sucker somebody in out of state to buy it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a roof, second floor or first floor. It just has a
I mean,
shell.
if you had the house next door, you could get it and get a nice yard. But
And I mean, the house has history, bro.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, a cop used to live there, and I just remember coming down the street right here, and the guy's name was Bigger. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Don't say names.
Damn it.
who's bigger, Mr. Bigger's son or Mr. Bigger?
Well, whoever lived there.
Mr. Bigger's son's bigger. He's a little bigger.
He's a little bit bigger, but he was an officer, right? And
Officer.
right, he was a cop, and he lived there, and he had worked late nights and whatever, worked strenuous hours, and I come walking on the street one time, and I just see this dude, and this guy's known for walking around. He has these dark like sunglasses, but they're not, and like tank top, and hairy chest, and, like, strutting when he walks, and I just seen him come out of the back door. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Uh-oh. And we seen him a couple times, and shortly after that, like, everyone disappeared out of there. But yeah, it was, it's yeah. It's,
Yeah, just so you know,
because
this
we
isn't
have
edited.
Ellis's. And if you know, like, the Ellis's live right up here.
Okay.
And you know
No,
them?
I don't know them.
Oh, there's like 13 of them, 13 Ellis's. And we used to all play football right over here in Bill Truby's yard. And like I was telling them about it, like, Joey, guess what, dude? And he's like, I seen him down there. I seen him. I know what's going on. And we're like, yeah, mister, he got a gun, man. What's going to happen? So we're like, it's like The Burbs. If you ever see that movie, we're all like sitting out here watching.
See what's gonna happen.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
It was Sheridan's crazy. Sheridan is nuts.
It is nuts, man. I remember hearing so many stories about Dad. Like, guys would come up to me and be like, "Oh, little Dodd, I know your brother, and I know your dad. I know your cousin Frankie. I know every blah 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 blah."
It was Sheridan. It was I thought that too.
Yeah.
Until I moved over to the other side of Sheridan, right? And then I'm like, no, that's just Sheridan, because like I lived on the corner of Hammond, I think Zephyr, and I had a buddy over live a couple doors down, Mike Gorchuk, and like the one night, crazy shit would always happen on that corner. And so we met these girls one night, and we was like, yeah, come over. And it was like 2:30, and we're sitting out, and I have like a concrete lawn.
Low maintenance.
And me and Mike
Yeah.
we're just drinking, because we're like, something's gonna pop off, and they're like, what are we doing? And we're like, oh, the show's gonna
waiting.
be.
Your apartment was like an old bar or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was like an old speakeasy. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was turned into an apartment.
It's a 40 house now, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But we're sitting there, and these girls are like, what are we doing? Like, we're just like, and we're like, show's about to start, ladies. We're sitting there drinking. I'm all calm. Mike's all calm. Next thing you know, you hear screaming. I'm like, uh-oh.
Here we go.
Here it goes. Here we go. Next thing you know, like, paddy wagon, this car, Port Authority now, pull up, man. And we're like, oh shit, what's going on? And next thing you see the spotlight hit the roof. And Joey, I'm not going to say his last name. Him and his brother used to get drunk and fight a lot, you know? And fucking, he's like, don't shoot him, it's a BB gun. Don't shoot him. And you see this fucking light going rooftop to rooftop. Because the houses are close together.
Right.
And he's running and jumping from like box gutter to box gutter. Like all the neighbors are out, you know, other dudes are coming up. They're like, hey, can we come in? I'm like, yeah, beer's
Like an action movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
beer's
my
right
gosh.
here. We start drinking. Yeah, it was like,
The side that we lived on was never considered the other side. The other side, anytime you say the other side of Sheraden, it's always Foodland and over.
yeah, Foodland and over. And that was
Foodland in this way?
No,
Or
no.
Foodland.
Like this area right here was never the other side of Sheraden.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is always Sheridan Heights,
Well, yeah. And then I was
Middletown Heights.
So
Middletown
it was like
Road.
Crafton and Crafton Heights. People say, oh, you're from Crafton Heights. No,
yeah.
I'm from Crafton.
And
not
Barry,
Crafton Heights.
Barry and up
Barry,
would
yeah.
be Upper St. Sheridan.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was Upper St. Sheridan for sure. Berry Street, that's got a stories all in its own.
How many times how much air have you got off that street?
So
I
you
used to
remember Mike
love
Perry?
That street. Love that street.
You remember Mike Perry, the guy who used to fix all the cars in Sheridan?
No.
Well, he's been there forever.
Is that the guy at the bottom?
No, he's right here, like where Uncle Frank used to live, right in front next to the firehouse.
Okay.
Yeah, he has
He used to-
Perry's Auto.
Yeah, he used to have a gas station, and he's been there forever and fixes. Even my mom still goes
Yeah.
to his.
Shout out to Perry, Mike Perry.
Yeah, so like we were at a party, and we had my mom's. Oh, what was that thing? It was a 4-door, like it was a Grand Marquis.
Oh my
Grand
gosh.
Marquis. So I come down.
Coming down Barry.
First I come to Middletown Road, and I got some speed and like drifted around there. Even before drifting was a thing, I was like drifting around there, and I come down, and these two fellas was carrying groceries, and one didn't really get out the way in time. I hit his groceries, and I went, whoom. And it was like probably the best air I've ever got, dude. And it was just me and this kid, Bobby Morris, and we were going to pick up my buddy. And anyways, I come down, boom, boom. And he said, we're cracking up laughing. He could hardly talk. And he's like, oh my God, that was Joe Perry. Like, no, it wasn't. Because I'm like, I know my dad's going to
He's going to know the car.
Oh, he's going to hear about it? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. And so we picked up, we laughed all the way to get this kid Jason. We laughed all the way back up to I forget where the party was. I couldn't stop. Like he could, because he worked for Mike Perry.
Don't hit the table.
Bobby Morris was changing brakes for Mike Perry.
Bobby. I went to school with Bobby Morris.
He could not wait to go to work. He was just like, and before I could find out before he got to work, my dad's like, "Were you down Berry Street?" Yeah, Mr. Perry said that you could check the exhaust from where you were. He saw the whole exhaust. Everything.
They would know what we did the night before we even got
man.
home. Our parents.
How did things get so spread out now? Now there's nothing like that now. Everyone's so distant from one another. There's
Well, yeah. One thing is, when we did stupid shit like that back in the day, and we got busted, it was go home, dude, go home, or
Yeah.
son, I'm gonna follow you home, get out of here, whatever. The cops didn't take you didn't have this hanging over your head for the
Yeah.
rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything was a little less. I don't know what the correct word is, but less serious.
yeah.
Kids could get away with being kids and doing stupid shit, and it wouldn't ruin their lives.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Because we did a lot of stupid shit.
like Crafton cops and city cops.
Yeah, like the cops knew you,
Yeah.
and it was like, Dodd, what are you doing? Like, why are you,
Yeah,
why are you such an idiot?
Hold on. Why is it? I mean, why is it that whenever I could be in Elliott, I could be in Crafton, I could be in Mount Lebanon, anywhere, somebody saw me and they'd be like, "You're a Dodd, I know it." Like that was like one of the things where it's just like I would get in trouble at the bowling alleys sometimes. I'm like, "Oh, you little Dodd, I know what you're doing." I'm like, it was him. I wasn't, because I wasn't a troublemaker. And my friends were not troublemakers either, but sometimes they pulled jokes, and they're like, "I know you, I know your brother Bill."
Well, we have a history. I mean, our when you've been in this area for so long,
Yeah.
our parents were troublemakers, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
they were all fighters.
Yeah.
And some of our cousins and brothers, like my brothers, were getting in trouble. And like I was like you, I didn't really.
Yeah.
I like to say I was smarter than them, and I didn't get caught.
I think there's proof to that.
Yeah, but
I got caught all the time. I sucked at it. If I would have grew up and kept with a criminal life, I would have been a bad criminal.
When I was a young
Terrible
good.
to get caught
I
all
wasn't
the
good
time.
at it.
No,
when I
not
was
at all.
when I was a young kid, anytime I went past Joe Perry's gas station and there was somebody that knew you, there were sometimes that they were like, man, give me a high five. Tell your brother I said, what's up, man? I don't know who the person is, and there'd be $10 in my hand. And I like, what? Like, okay, I'll just go to Joe Perry's and buy candy, you know? And like,
nobody ever gave me money, but
yeah, oh, no, I received a couple times. Tell your brother Frank or tell your brother Bill. Like always happened. And there was one time when I was in Ugly Dog Saloon. This guy started crying, and I'm like, he came up to me and was like, I don't want any trouble. And he was crying like, I don't want any trouble. I don't want anything that happened the last time. And his buddies came up, and I thought I had a problem. And all my friends that were there weren't going to do anything. And turns out the dude thought I was Bill. And he was just like, I don't want any problems. We're going to leave. We just want to walk by you. And I
troublemaker.
That's crazy.
who was I with? I think I was with Tony Frank. I wonder how he's doing. Anyway, they were all like, who's that guy? I'm like, I have no idea. And then they said, Bill, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm not Bill. They're like looking at me like, what? I'm not Bill.
Give my money back. Give my $5
Give me
back.
my $5.
No, those dudes were just trying to leave. They saw me there and they thought I was you, and they were just trying to leave. Yeah.
Got a little reputation there, huh?
Yeah, you just don't care. Sometimes you get beat up too much, and then you just switch hits, and you're just like, I don't care.
Yep.
Well, you hang around crazy people. You know what I mean? I mean, just
Crazy shit happens.
Crazy shit happens.
The thing, like you're not that big, but to have like 5 dudes, like I don't want to mess with you. You look.
Like I said, dude. Sometimes you hang out with the right people. You know what I mean?
I'll vouch for that. All of my friends are over 6 foot, like in high school and stuff like that. And you know me, I'm the talker, and I'm the one like yipping at people and getting into fights. I got a buddy who he has a karate school. He's had a karate school for 35 years now. And I'm talking to him like a year ago, and we're talking about his business. And he says, "You're the reason I'm doing this." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm the reason you're doing this?" He goes, "You don't remember? We were driving through Crafton." And he goes, I was driving. You were the passenger. And you saw some guy, and the guy yelled at you, and you yelled, "Hey, I'm going to fucking kill you." And you told me to pull over. And then I pulled over, and you jumped out of the car, and you looked back at me, and you said, "Hey, you coming?" And he goes, and that's when I realized I don't know shit how to fight. He said, so I started taking karate, and I ended up liking it, and I started my own karate school, and then that's my entire life. So basically, and we didn't even get into the fight. The guy, we all just, I don't even remember what happened. I don't even remember the incident. He's telling me about it, and he goes, "Yeah, because of you, you got me into this fight," and he was a big, stocky, big dude.
Yeah.
And
Well, your dad, Uncle Gail, was a fighter.
oh yeah.
Like I hear a lot of stories about him.
Yeah.
When I was younger.
He was a fighter back in the Army with Uncle Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, he's a fighter on the streets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Uncle Chuck said a lot of like stories. Well, when you're working with Uncle Chuck and he's talking about stuff and you're just not like tough enough, and then you have to hear a story about your Uncle Gail or your dad or Uncle Frank, because all these guys are younger than Uncle Chuck. Well, not younger, but like Uncle.
Yeah, my dad was older. Yeah.
Older, but like with my dad and my Uncle Frank, they were younger, and me and Gail and all this, and it's like, I don't know if that story's true. And then you hear from somebody else, and it's like,
the same story
over and over and over, and it's just like, all right, maybe it is true.
It was a different world, and I don't know a whole lot about his childhood, but what he did tell us, and I mean. At 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, he's living in the YMCA because they didn't have a place to live. And then World War II, and he goes and joins the Navy. And I'm like, I think it's just, he lied about his age. He was 17. He went into the Navy, lied about his age. And he was just looking for 3 square meals. And
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny because his dad was getting a heart surgery. Was it?
Yeah. You got a new
And,
valve.
Yeah, he went into which war was it, the Korean War or the
Well, he was in World War II and Korea.
World War
He
II?
was
Okay.
in both.
But he
was
found
in-
out his doctor, his surgeon, was like named Honda.
No, it was Suzuki.
Suzuki. And the doctor came in, and me and my dad went to visit. I don't know, were you there?
Yeah, I was
so
there.
he come in, and he's like, "I am Dr. Suzuki," and he was like, "No hard feelings, right?"
Yeah.
His dad was one of the funniest dudes
Just
I've
gets
ever
out,
met in my
just
life.
comes out of anesthesia with a new heart. He said, no hard feelings.
Oh, dude.
Like, no hard feelings, right? Like you're gonna do surgery.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He said some of the funniest stuff in the world that I still use today, bro. I still use he was like Carol, your sister Carol was helping him in, and he was like getting in at the family reunion, get into the car or something, and they're like, "Hey, Carol's gonna help you." And he turns around and looks at her. He's like, looks back. He's like, "She can't take a punch." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I fell out. I was like, "Oh, Uncle Gail's the best."
See, that's the stuff everybody remembers about Uncle Gale.
Yeah.
But growing up with Uncle Gale wasn't.
Was he a mean guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. He had a temper. Yeah. Yeah. My mom spent many nights at your parents.
Oh.
Like she would just
Oh, wow.
leave.
Yeah.
Not many, a few. Like I
Yeah.
remember, and me being that young, I just remember her going somewhere, and I didn't put two and two together because this is probably when I'm 4, 5, 6 years old. I don't know. And but talking to Gary, my brother Gail, they remember that stuff. But yeah, he was. I mean, he never like hit anybody or anything like that. But if he had a bad day at work, you knew just.
You didn't want to be the family dog.
Yeah, give him some space, and yeah.
Everybody loved him.
Everybody loved him.
Man.
Yeah. And he was a good guy. But
There was 4 ladies just on this street that he would do stuff for.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They all loved him. I was like,
But I tell people, I say you don't, because my brother Gail, firstborn, experimental, you know what I mean? So he says, yeah, my dad and I never got along and blah, blah, blah. And I say, you got to understand where he came from. Both our parents. Like
Yeah.
my mom's dad took off. She was one of 7 or 8 kids. So single household. Their dad took off. You know, our dad's dad took off. They lived in a house in Sheraden. The house burned down.
and they still lived in it.
They moved back in and put newspaper up on the walls and still lived in the house.
Yeah,
I mean,
I seen
you know,
pictures of that. It was
they
crazy.
were. I mean, depression. They were
Yeah.
struggling, so they had no parental guidance to, you know, how to raise kids. I
Yeah.
said, so they're winging it as they're going, Gail, and you were the experiment.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't know much. I don't know anything. Every time I try to ask my dad, I'll be back. Bring me a water and a beer, please. One of those golden monkeys.
golden monkey.
You like, if you weren't drinking. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm good.
I try asking my dad, and he just tells me he forgets. I just a water and a beer for me.
Well,
Thank
your
you.
dad was so young.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of pictures of, like I know there's one picture of the 4, and you've probably seen it. I think they're by a car or something. It's Uncle Chuck, my dad, Frank, and Bill.
Yeah.
And your dad and Frank are young.
Thank you, Bill.
So that's
You want a water? You want a beer or anything?
no, I'm good. I'm good. So that's probably true. You know,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, my mom, every time I ask her, like, hey, I want to know about the Dodd side of things. I'm talking to Aunt Jenny. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's true. We're related to the person that started Father's Day.
never heard that.
Yeah. And
That'd be ironic
yeah.
that they didn't have a father.
Yeah.
I met our grandfather once. He came to the house once, and he just showed up at the front. Nobody came to our front door. Everybody came up the driveway and in the back of the house. So this guy shows up at the front door, knocking at the front door, and my brother Gail tells the story because Gail was probably 14, and I was, I'm probably 4. And I just remember this big guy, and he came and he was trying to looking for some money. And Gail tells the story. He says, I was so excited. He goes, this is my grandfather. I'm going to go meet my grandfather.
So he was a big guy?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
And So Gail runs over and he says, "Hey, I'm your grandson." Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Yeah." Like,
Oh, wow.
Didn't even acknowledge him. And Gail's like,
Man.
"That's the only time I remember even seeing him."
I don't know much about him either, but I know that like, Uncle. I
I
don't
know
know why
he
but
was mean.
Uncle
Like,
Chuck used to scare the shit out of me when I was a
It
kid.
was Uncle Don for me.
Uncle Don for you?
Yeah.
See, I don't know. Uncle Don, like Aunt Flo used to be.
Oh,
We'll get on that in a minute.
And we love our family. by the way.
I love, yeah.
I loved
but-
it.
but
And Flo taught me how to polka.
She was the best, bro. We'll get into them.
Everybody got
Fisco
Aunt Flo.
pants in a minute. I loved her.
She was 4 foot of piss and vinegar.
Yeah, she was. But like Uncle Chuck, I don't know why, man. I was just like, cause he was like a leader and everything, and I was just scared of him, you know. And then when I got older, I worked for him, and he's looking at me. I'm like, "So, Uncle Chuck, you know?" He's like, "Billy, I gotta tell you, you fucking scared the shit out of me." I'm like, "I scare you?" He's like, "Yeah, you look just like my dad."
Well, that's why.
I'm like, "Give me a raise."
Stop hitting the table.
Sorry.
He's the only uncle I've never worked for.
Uncle Chuck?
Never
He's,
worked for him.
he's so great.
I am so glad. Like, from the stories I hear, I am so glad I didn't work for
They
him.
all got the same humor. Like we go to Home Depot and this guy, we get like wire or some dumb shit, you know what I mean? And the guy's got the thing and he's taping it. He's taping. And Uncle Chuck looks at him and goes, "Hey, I gotta pay him to take all that tape off." I was like, I couldn't argue. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. Stop rapping, dude.
No, I live right next door to him. Uncle
Yeah.
Chuck. So I see him all the time. But yeah, I never worked for him. Yeah.
Man.
Your dad and Uncle Frank were the best to work for. I liked working for them.
Dude, Uncle Chuck would always make me run the equipment. And I was like, I don't know how to run this thing. Oh, just pull it in. And I would get in there and then he would,
How old were you?
I don't know, 8, 9.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say because Uncle Frank did the same thing to me when I was like 12. He's like, "Yeah, move this truck." I'm like, "Huh?"
We had a
You learn early.
Yeah.
we had like a mini skid steer, and I was like going real slow, and we're driving in this lady's back like yard, and we're doing this retaining wall. I'm driving real slow. He was like, get out. I was going too slow for him. So he gets in, does this whole thing, and the whole wall we just put up and finished, we're like about to backfill.
I mean, yes, he knocks it over. Yeah.
He backed right into it.
Yep.
Dude, I've heard stories about Uncle Chuck. Like he used to pay the union guys to go take off because they were too slow.
Yeah.
And like the Dodd boys would come in and wreck it out real quick.
Yeah, Brian and Chucky will tell you some stories about working.
Oh, I gotta have them.
Back in the day with the bank stuff,
Yeah.
doing all the, and he did those drive up windows, and yeah, he did some cool stuff.
We should get those guys on, talk to them.
You know, it's funny you brought up Uncle Don too because I think Dale said Uncle Don was like he was scared of Uncle Don too.
Yeah, he was just an intimidating, big guy.
He used to tell me stories like he would just be in the truck with Uncle Don and someone would do something and Uncle Don would get in front of him and just brake check him till they got out and he'd want to like kill him.
There's a story. Uncle Chuck told me this story, not my dad. But my dad they were somewhere in the city. They might have been outside the YMCA or something like that. Or, no, I think they were in a bar or something. But anyway, long story short, my dad gets in a fight with a guy. So they're out in an alley. And this guy is kicking the shit out of my dad. And Uncle Chuck says, out of nowhere comes Uncle Don, smacks this guy upside the head with a brick, knocks him out, and they're out of there. Like that was like Uncle Don's, like, yeah,
Hit him with an alley apple, huh?
yeah, exactly. Like boom, we're gone.
I remember
Enough of this.
And that's we're done.
there was a party at Uncle Frank's, and like I don't know, I think I don't know if it was over Beverly or Tiffany, I forget what year, but a girl, there was like one of Uncle Frank's, either his daughter or niece, and they were about to get into a fight, and I saw Uncle Frank pick a dude up by his throat in front of his house. Do you remember that?
No,
You were there.
I believe it.
Yeah, and I saw a dude, you know, now it could have been a young kid. My memory doesn't serve me great, but he picked him up, and Daddy was just like, put him down, Frank.
You seen young pictures, Uncle Frank? He was
some-
Elvis.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looked just like Elvis.
I
man.
can understand why he was got the ladies. He was.
But
Yeah.
no, I mean, he was married. This is when they were in the house over here, like in Sheraden.
On
Right,
Huxley,
right here.
bro, the first fight well, no, it might have been the second, but one of the first 2 fights I ever seen was on Huxley Street at Uncle Frank's. It was 2 girls. I'm dropping Tina Phillips and Stephanie Doherty. I have to say it. Shout out to you guys. I hope you're listening and watching. But I'll never forget you.
Thanks for the
You were
entertainment.
ingrained right up here, and thank you. And because there was hair flying, boobies flying.
Cat fight.
I said I'm coming back to Huxley Street
Huxley
every day. I rode my bike over to Huxley Street because they had the little dumps there. They knocked out a house or whatever they had there, and it was called the dumps. And it was like you
Yeah.
ride your bike over there. And man, I went over there. Yeah,
I remember that house.
Stayed over there from that that whole summer. I think I was
You
there
waiting for another one?
every day. I was like, "Who's Tina again? Which one's this?" I seen her boobs.
I remember that house. I was afraid of that house because you stuffed me down the laundry chute, you and Michael.
No, that was on Straka.
Was that Straka?
Yeah, after I told
He, tell him the story. Go ahead. This is how nice my brother
Everyone
is to me.
cereal.
Every one of us
He
has been
said-
either down a laundry chute or in a hamper.
he said he wanted cereal, and I'm like, "Well, I just seen Meow Mix. Here's some Fruit Loops." And he's like, "I ain't eating it."
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no.
"Yeah, you will." Or you're going, no, whatever.
No, I remember this pretty good. He was like, I didn't say anything about being hungry. I was trying to be in your gang, you and Michael's gang, and you were like, if you want to be in this gang, you got to eat this whatever with this cereal with pickle juice. And I was like, it doesn't seem so bad. So he pours whatever, a box of whatever.
That was Meow Mix. I clearly
Yeah,
remember.
Meow Mix.
pours pickle juice in the Meow Mix
Because I'm like, he ain't
and
never
makes
gonna
me
eat this.
eat. And makes me eat.
I didn't make you.
He
eat.
makes me, him and Michael make me eat. So I wouldn't eat it because it was too nasty. So he got mad at me and put me in the laundry chute and I got stuck. And then Beverly had to get me out.
Okay, maybe half of that's true.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
remember I was so scared because I'm surprised I'm not claustrophobic.
See,
I
I
was
just got shoved in the hamper with a cat.
Oh, man.
They would shove me in the
What?
hamper. They would put me in the. They
And
would
then
dump the clothes
shake it.
hamper. They would throw me in the hamper, throw me in the cat with claws, sit on the lid, and then they'd smack on the side of the hamper. That was Gary and Gail. Yeah, that, and they would.
That's a lot worse than getting
They would
stuck
give me.
in a
They would
chute.
give me Mogan David, MD 2020 when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and they'd get me drunk,
Oh,
and then
man.
they just let me walk around the house and stagger, and they just laugh at me. Yeah, big brothers.
Torturing younger siblings, whether they're brother or cousins, is because Dale. I mean, Dale. He still cries to this day about shit that he said to him. Like like down McKees Rocks, there's a black train bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
And I guess it's pretty high, and guys jump off of it, And Dale still remembers it like it was yesterday. It's like your dad came in, he got me, and he threw me in off that bridge. I still remember. I just had time to think of everything before I hit the water, and I didn't know how to swim. And Art Chickenelli, because they got all these crazy names.
Yep.
My dad's friends, Art Chickenelli came in. He saved me. And went back up, and your dad's like, "I'm sorry, come here." He's like, "No, you're gonna throw me in." He's like,
threw him
"No,
in
I'm
again.
sorry, come here, you're gonna throw me in." I'm sorry, Dad. Threw him in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Only the strong survive.
I guess, man. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That's
Wow. So many. What's the craziest thing that you remember in Sheraden?
oh man. Okay. Kids wise, like as kids or
Yeah, whatever. I don't
a
know.
group of kids. I don't know what. I think it was Devil's Night, and we were like throwing eggs and being bad, like kids weren't supposed to be. And we went up and
Or were they?
it
It was called Devil's Night for a reason.
But I just remember this guy and Marcus Meredith was there. He's a black guy and he's like one of our best friends, and we're hanging out, and this little black girl was like running, and this dude like looked like Gallagher, right? I don't know if you remember Gallagher.
The guy who smashes the
the
lemon.
comic, like
Yeah.
he had like hair like out here but bald on top, you know what I mean? He's running after this girl, and then the girl comes up and it's like the worst possible scenario for a pedophile. You run in, there's a bunch of Sheraden kids with nunchucks.
Dude, I remember
Because
the.
we're all practicing, like,
No,
trying
no.
to get better at karate or whatever. So this dude's like,
This is our chance.
yeah, he's booking ass, and this little girl's running, and this dude's booking ass, and you can just see like oh fuck, you can see it in his eyes. And Marcus was black, and that he was chasing a black girl, so he was like, you seen, he lit up,
Yeah.
and he was just like, everyone just started jumping this guy, and thank God someone grabbed Marcus, because Marcus, they beat him into a bush, and Marcus is like dumping gas on the guy. And we're all like, no, Marcus, no, don't go to jail for this dude. You know what I mean? And I don't know what happened to that guy, bro, but I don't know if it ever shows his face, because everyone was just got their licks in on this guy. You know what I mean? And then, as soon as you hear cops, you take off. And it's like I don't know if it's a Sheraden thing or what, but it's like, anyway, you'd be hanging at the wall and someone yell, cops, and you just see like
Just everybody take off.
20 people run for
no
no reason. Like,
No reason. Yep.
Dude, I remember.
But that was probably the craziest, dude, because I actually thought that I was going to see someone get burned, dude. I was like, I didn't want to, like, I was.
Marcus is a good dude too. Man.
He's a dude. He's one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet, man. He's really good, really good guy. And for him to get that upset, you know what I mean? We're all upset, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, it was just crazy, dude. That's probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen now.
Man.
To happen. It's
Dude,
just,
I just remember all the I just remember all the weapons you would hide in the basement, the sticks with the spikes through it, or the stick with the chainsaw blade in it, or not the chainsaw blade, the drop saw blade.
Sheraden, man. I don't know what to tell you.
See, yeah, you guys had it rough. I was over and living in the lap of luxury in Crafton. So, yeah.
Oh, dude, people would call the house all the time. Tell Bill he's the grass and I'm the mower. Tell him his ass is grass and I'm the mower, and all this other stuff. And I remember one night you came home bloody, and I'm like, "What happened to you?" And you were like, "Don't worry, man. It's not my blood."
Nah, we used to get in trouble, man. I don't know.
I don't want to bring up any dark stuff for you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah.
not dark. It's just you do stupid shit. That's all.
Yeah, we
just
do.
kids.
Yeah.
You know what I
do
mean?
stupid shit.
And like sometimes, like I think I just told you the other day, like getting bloody. Like we were, you know where Esplin is. Mm-hmm. So we were down Esplin throwing rocks from the Ratcliffe Bridge over into the abandoned houses in Esplin to see who could knock out the windows. And like I've wound up and I went way down. And then my boy Bob, he sidearmed one, right, a flat one, and then it caught me right on top of the head. And I don't know what it hit, but it was like squirting up like a fountain. And he was like, "Oh!" when he put his hand on my head, like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And I'm like, "What?" And I just felt the blood. I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like, it's too much blood. I don't know what's going on. We run up to the first house we, can go to, and we ring the doorbell, and we don't hear no doorbell, but the lights start going on and off. We're like, "What?"
They're deaf.
This lady answered the door, and she's like,
She was deaf. Yeah.
"Yeah, my." That's like, I think this is how when he's like took his hand off and went. I was like, "Ooh," ran in and grabbed the phone. It had like two lights on. Like you ever see like the commissioner's phone?
I had a paper route when I was little. And I had a deaf guy on the paper route. Yeah, I used to go ring the bell, the lights would flash, and you come to the door, and you're collecting your money, and I had a phone that had like this cool phone that just lit up when it,
The commissioner.
Yeah. He lived 3 doors down from us. Yeah.
It don't just ring. It like lights up, and then I called mom, and she came down. By the time she got down there, it stopped. Whatever it was is like just quick, but he's just.
I remember going to your area in Crafton, and I was like, man, I wonder what it would live like, I wonder what it would be like to live over here with all these nice
Mansions.
homes
There were
and
mansions,
rich
huh?
They
people.
were big houses, man.
I still love
They were
them.
big houses.
Man,
It's not what it used to be.
No.
It's it's still okay.
I think to this day, though, if I hit the lottery, I'm moving to Crafton, like just from being a kid. You know what I mean? Like you said, like I'll go.
I have a saying: set your goals low, that way you can attain them.
Exactly. Because I have the
under
greatest,
promise, over deliver.
I have some of the best memories going over Uncle Gale's. It was just like I love when we lived in Sheraden. He was like when I knew he was coming over on the moped.
Oh, I missed that
I
moped.
hated that moped.
Freaking light up, dude, because he used to let me ride it when I was like 7. I was just,
But
I
he
would
wanted
cruise
us
around.
to. But you were 7, I was like 17. So he's like, "Hey, take the moped and go." I'm like, "I don't want to drive it. A moped. I look like a goober on that thing, you know?
I remember I
wanted to
felt
ride it all the time.
I felt all crazy. I'm like, because we went to Uncle Gail's and someone said, I think my dad, he don't know how to ride a bike. I'll tell a story about him about riding dirt bikes in a minute. But
I got one from my dad riding motorbikes too. Did it end
So
up
we
with a
went over-
hospital?
No, it ended up with him on top of me. But
No, my dad ended up
I
with
went
a
over to your
hospital.
house and you had an RM 250 or something.
Gary had that.
Oh, was it Gary's?
Yeah.
But
Well,
you were the
it was
one who
orig-
said
It was originally Gail's,
Uh-huh.
and then it was Gary's, and then I would ride it every once in a while.
because they were. I was like, oh, I want to ride that, and they were like, yeah, let him ride it. And you were like,
Let him ride it.
absolutely not.
Give him the 60.
yeah.
Let him ride the 60.
You were like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not. That is not going to happen. That is too much bike for that little guy.
Yep. Yeah. That was too much bike for me, but yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that was some fun stuff. Yeah, I like being in Crafton. It was nice. But when we came to Sheraden all the time.
Oh yeah.
We were always what was it, Sherwood? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were always down there.
That's the other
Yeah,
side.
that was a party place, dude. The Sherwood Avenue where
Yeah.
my dad lived.
Yep.
Dude, that was party central right there, except you just.
We'd have picnics out there and
Yeah.
like all kinds of stuff. I remember when you guys were born. Like I barely remember when you were born, but I remember when you were born and Becky. And going over there, and I loved that place.
Yeah.
That was like, it was just so cool because it was right there, and then there were those woods.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know Sheridan Park was right down there, but it seemed like it was so, when you're little, it seemed like it was so far away.
Yeah, but you could hear like all the shenanigans going down in
In the park.
the park. That's why I was like, you could, when we lived there, I was like, yeah, there's woods there, but I was never scared because
No,
I'm like,
not at all.
there's someone drinking a beer in there. I know it.
Yeah.
There's always
Crazy stuff happened in that woods. I mean, I hear stories like when I was
Dead
growing
Man's
up.
Path. There was, there was
Yeah.
Dead Man's Path. You hear all of it, but I never believed shit. I'm like, yeah, right. There's
Well,
people drink down there every night. There ain't gonna be. It ain't Friday the 13th down there every Friday. I'm telling you.
Well, the story that sticks with me the most is the one that Becky can't talk about. She has a hard time talking about, and that's the one where she remembers hearing a dog on a roof. Do you remember the story?
Nah.
Well, she was in tears almost, like trying to talk about it a handful of years ago. And this is like when I first heard the story. So Becky and Billy shared a room upstairs. And one night, Becky was just crying and crying and crying about, Dad, there's a dog on the roof, to the point where my dad went and looked at the roof. And you know how like the road was right near the house and there's about like, I don't know, 20, 30 foot span there.
Yeah.
So he was like up there looking at the road, didn't see anything on the roof. And it got to the point where Becky kept saying that there was something on the roof that they, just basically had her sleep with them in the bedroom. And the next morning, they found dead dogs over the hill. And then Daddy said that when they were looked up on top of the roof, there was muddy dog prints on the roof. Becky,
So okay, well, what happened to the dogs?
well, I don't know. They were missing heads.
That's a weird story.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad I never heard that story. I'm gonna tell you now. I'm pretty glad I never heard that story.
well, Becky is the one who said it, and then
because
she
there's
like, started
raccoons
crying.
over there all the time. I mean, like big
Yeah.
raccoons. Big. They chewed through the steel drums that we had because my dad had steel. Why? I don't know.
Why not?
But they had steel drums. Yeah, and
Because
they
we
would
come from a long line of scrappers.
like, cause it would suck, dude. It would suck going to take garbage out. Cause you're like,
Oh, those were your garbage cans.
the garbage cans. Yeah, I hated it.
Dude, I remember.
But the raccoons, I don't know if it was rust or whatever, but that made the holes. But they would clod that fucking thing and then they'd rip it open and the garbage would be like torn out, But that's crazy. I never heard that one. I'm so glad I didn't hear it.
I'm
Go
gonna
ask.
ask her about
Yeah,
that.
ask her
later.
about it. Because the last time
Why
we
she
brought
killed
it up,
him?
she was like,
Like,
I don't want
right
to talk about
before
it.
you
I'm
leave.
like, Becky, why you kill dogs, man? I heard you sacrifice animals on your roof when you were a kid.
And then I remember, what's her name? Miyoki or Kaoki or whatever her name is?
Mieko.
Mieko, yeah.
She was a nice girl.
Yeah. And then I remember you guys always doing that thing in the mirror. You'd like turn the lights out and do like...
I don't think I did that shit, bro. I was never superstitious. I know Becky was.
Dude, superstition. I don't know if you were superstitious, but you had me convinced that the house over here had a monster in it, and they would change the light the lamp from one window to another window. And then you're like, hey, man, if that window is open, don't walk past the house.
We were probably doing something bad up in McGonigal. We didn't want you coming up.
Just didn't want you up there.
Yeah, we didn't want you up there.
Oh, my gosh. So
Wait.
I would look at the house and be like, oh, man, the window's
Like,
closed.
The window is.
Do you believe in ghosts or what? No?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah.
No. I did for
My
like...
mom swears we had a ghost in our house.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I forget the exact story, but something was moved or she heard something.
A little closer.
She heard something. And I don't remember the exact story. Gary would know it. But yeah, she swore that there were ghosts in our house.
I thought I was being haunted for like 3 months.
You probably were.
No, it
is
was
your
over,
ex?
over.
How many times
over,
you pee on Damien's grave?
over I didn't do nothing to his. We'll talk about that in a minute. Damien, I didn't do shit to you, bro. It wasn't me. Stop fucking with me, please.
Ghosts.
No, like the first time I really like thought there was ghosts, it was over on Hammond Street, and like I had a 1-story bedroom apartment and like a loft, and the kitchen was 12-foot ceilings, whatever, and the bedroom was straight back. And first time I woke up, and I looked at the wall, and this fucking face with horns, and it was there, and I like, you know, that scared shit, like you go fetal almost, you know, like your hands curl up. I'm like, oh, and I couldn't do shit, dude, for like 10 seconds.
This was last week?
It was like, no, it was like 20 years ago. So it went away. Fucking thing went away.
Oh.
I went and stayed at my mom for a week.
So you're 30 years old.
And I'm not telling her, right? Because I'm like, no, I was on my own. And I'm
You
not
were
telling
18
her.
or 19.
I'm not telling her. Right. I was out early because got kicked out. Anyways, I'm like, I'm on my own. And I'm not telling her because I'm like, she's going to think I'm crazy. I'm on drugs, whatever. I stayed over here for a week, and then I went back to get some shit, and I'm like poking around and sleeping with my gun and my dog. Nothing for like 3-4 months, right? But I'm still leery. 3-4 months, I'm like, I'm haunted. Shit's real. Fuck. And then I go to sleep, and I wake up, and there's this fucking thing again in full force on the wall. Horns, teeth, everything. I'm like, ah. So I go up, I'm like ready to shoot it, but I know like the neighbors, so I don't want to shoot it. I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna kill Sheraden.
You realize that's when you move.
Right? That's
like,
how I
all
just
right,
said in Lou. I didn't
I'm
mean.
out.
I'm like, I'm ready to, I'm like, I can't do it. So I walk up, I'm like, and I touch the wall, and I'm like, what? And I look down the hallway. Down the hallway is a peephole, and whoever was turning the corner had their high beams on and stopped to talk to their homeboy.
And that's
But the light shined through the peephole, projected it on my wall, and I thought I was like,
oh man.
I thought I was like,
Yeah.
Destiny's Child or whatever the
Mr. Tough Guy's afraid of ghosts.
Oh, dude, I'm like, ha! And I think I went over and told Mom, unloading those hollow tips, like, went over and told Mom. She said, I was wondering why you were over here.
That's crazy.
Some crazy stuff happened here when ghost wise.
Yeah, Derringer went nuts. I don't know if I told you that one.
Well, Derringer would go nuts all the time, bark in the corner of the ceiling.
My dogs do that too. They
Oh,
like
do they?
stare. Yeah, they stare like up at a corner of.
No,
nothing.
Derringer would be like,
Yeah, he would like
Okay.
flex and all his veins
All his
and
hair would
muscles,
stand up.
and it was that corner over there. And the
Yeah.
first time it happened, he started off growling, and then he went into full blown attack mode. And I'm like, at first I thought it was someone outside because he gets pissed off when people come outside. And I went out and looked. I'm like, dude, there's nobody here, man. I went back and laid down because I was like, nice summer afternoon, cool breeze. I'm like, yes, sleep. No, Darren's just going crazy.
yeah.
And then he finally just went ape shit. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, he's looking at the ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I took off.
Check for peepholes.
I kept calling my mom, like, Mom, are you home? I didn't come over here for like 2 days.
Oh, dude.
But I was like, that's him.
No, me and Mike Rush were here. Gosh, we were here doing something, and Derringer was here, and he just started going off on the corner of and like I said,
Was it always the same corner?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's that corner right there,
Yeah.
right? With the light.
Yeah. So he would go, "Arr," and it was to the point where, like, it freaked Mike out. He was like, dude, what's going on?
It is. It's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah. And that's like, you know, Mike was like, what's up here? You know, like just going over and then Derringer jumped up. And Derringer was very athletic. Like I never seen a dog as athletic as Derringer.
Neither have I.
So his face, his snout could touch the ceiling. So he could just jump and touch. So he tried biting whatever was in the corner. So me and Mike were like, I don't know what that is. I don't know what's going on. But years before that, Kelly Wotasik's husband, Dan, you remember him?
Yeah.
Becky graduated, and she used to have a stereo in her bedroom and stuff. Anyway, so Dan was like, I'm going to cut the stereo speakers because they were all hardwired in, and I'll use my stereo, and I'll use her stereo and my speakers because he had amplifiers. So he was the DJ for her graduation party. Anyway, day or two later or whatever, me, Mike Lakovic, kid who used to live right up the street here, we were in my bedroom playing G.I. Joe or whatever. You know, I forget. We were just playing, hanging out. All of a sudden, you hear like, "Rah, go, 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 rah, go, 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 go." And we're like, what's going on? And I go in my sister's room, and her stereo is from the 80s, so it like lit up. Like, so every frequency was like red and green and yellow and going crazy. And I'm like, man, I got to turn it down. And there's nothing to turn down. The volume was already down. Well, just a couple days ago, you know, Danny had cut the speakers and just used her tape deck and and had a CD player. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Mike goes, unplug it. I go to unplug it. It wasn't even plugged in. So
The lights were still going on. It wasn't plugged in.
And music was blasting.
And there's no speakers connected to it.
There's no speakers connected to it. It's not plugged in, and it's going go 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 go. And
was it a song or just making noise?
it was it to me it sounded like heavy metal music, like real staticky, heavy go 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 go. And Mike just started crying and then left.
Yeah.
And
Fuck, dude. That's like. So what was it? Did you ever find out like it was a?
No, because we ran up to his house because he's 2 houses up on the right here. So we run up to his house, you know, and I'm like, I don't know what it is. And
Can you imagine his mom? What are you guys doing?
Dorothy.
Did you tell her? Dorothy was probably like, fuck that. You guys can stay up here.
Well, Mike goes in the house, and Dorothy wouldn't let me in the house sometimes. Just, you know, I wasn't allowed in the house. So
there's.
Well, no matter
I
what.
think there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Michael would go in the house, and Dorothy would be like, "Not right now." I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll sit on the porch." So I sat on the porch and waited for Mom to come home because she went to Foodland. She came home, nothing was going on. The wires were all nice and tied up. The speakers, speaker wires were all nice and tied up. So there's like,
Sure I wasn't fucking with you that day?
dude, you didn't live here.
Oh, that's right.
You didn't live here at that
when I
time.
was young. Yeah.
You didn't live here at that time.
Yeah,
And
because I did something like that to my. Carol had a birthday party when she was, let's say 6.
Yeah.
5, 6. Trisha. I don't know if Becky was there, but like a bunch of girls. You know, there's like 10. I don't know, 4th, 5th graders, whatever the hell they were, and maybe a little bit older than that because I was probably like middle school, high school, or something like that. And I got speakers. And I hung them out they were all downstairs in the living room, so I hung them out my bedroom window and dropped them down in front of the windows.
Yes.
And then
Greg.
I had this, I played the sax back then, and I had this synthesizer that I could plug the sax into, so I could make like cool noise. So I'm playing like Close Encounters and shit like that, and I'm just like being real subtle and not being loud or anything, and I can hear them down there like, what is that? What is that? And they're all starting to get a little crazy. And so they go out into the dining room. Remember the steps downstairs? My mom used to have curlers.
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody was with me or not, but we're still just playing the music like real soft and just kind of freaking them out. So I take a curler, and they're all down at the bottom of the steps, and I just throw a curler down. And they all like think it's a mouse or a rat or whatever. They just all freak out and start screaming. And Trisha still remembers that story, but... Yeah, so maybe somebody was messing with you.
No,
I'm thinking so.
Nobody was here, dude. Nobody was here. I have a couple stories that were scary to think about here. And another one of them was we had a Angela, would you mind giving me another beer? Thank you. Bill might need another perpetuity.
Administrative. What's your title?
She's the owner.
There might be one in the freezer. I hope.
Thank you to Angela Pinbox Productions for allowing the Bob Dog Show.
Pinbox. Woohoo.
But no, so me and Mike, once again, Michael Lakovic was part of this, and we were down here, and we had
Maybe he's the one who's been fucking with you.
Well, maybe. I mean, he was like the Catholic schoolboy. I'm never allowed in his house. So but we had a little tape recorder, and we would pretend. Thank you. We would pretend that we would basically be like wrestler announcers or news jockeys on the radio and stuff like that. And it was me, him, and anyway, we're like, Mom, listen, we recorded a wrestling thing. And if I was cussing, if he was cussing, like Dorothy, my mom, I actually think your mom was here, and Aunt Nancy and Laura was here. They were all doing something at the doing crafts or something. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, man, and
Scrabble.
Oh, dude,
Scrabble.
yeah, no, this was definitely during a season of wreaths.
Oh yeah.
So
they had their phases.
Yes,
macrame.
stained glass.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. Oh yeah.
Dude.
They did, huh?
Yeah.
Dude, you see, you don't even remember that stuff about the ladies.
Oh, dude, I remember.
Crazy.
Anyway, I'm like, look, Mom, like the Macho Man came to Pittsburgh and came to our thing, and we're back there like going, yeah, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, I am, blah 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 blah, and then we hit play, and all you hear is,
And it was not me. I promise you. I
You're
wouldn't
playing
do
it
that.
backwards.
no, it was a brand new tape, dude. It was a brand new tape. I think Michael received the radio, and that's why it was here. It wasn't like because we didn't. Mom never bought us stuff like that. But anyway, it was like, I mean, it clearly was sounding like it was cursing, and my mom goes, "What is that?" And Dorothy was like, "Why would you record that on the tape?" and stuff like that. Like I remember her flipping out, like, "We didn't say it. We didn't say it."
Us.
But it was so that happened, and dude, also the other weird things that would happen here is the people that would knock on the front door, and then when we would go answer the door, there would be no one there.
That was me. I did that all the time. So we lived in the circle, and so the circle was like it's split level, right? All the houses are the same, and it's like
Talking to
hundreds of houses. And
pull that mic close to
when they come out with these like long range.
Pull it close to you.
When they come out with the long range, video like the remote controls, me and my homie, we go up and we start fucking with people, right? So we fuck with this one dude. I think he was a Jehovah's Witness. That's why he fucked with us so much. But at least I think Bob was like, this guy's a Jehovah's Witness. And we're like, yeah, we're going to fuck with this guy.
That'll teach him.
We're going to get his ass. And I don't know what he was watching, but we'd like turn it off. And he would like turn it back on. And we'd turn it off. Turn it back on. And then we'd switch the channel. We'd turn it way up and he'd turn it way down. Dude, he got so mad. He was like fucking, he was like shaking. Like he had like one of the little table that you eat off of, like the little dinner table. He smacked it up.
TV dinner table.
He smacked it up. He went up and was like right next to it, like hitting it. And if it would mess up, he would smack the box. And
He's somewhere right now telling the same story.
Oh my God,
about
bro.
ghosts.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's like, I had a ghost in my house. Every time I turn the channel,
This fucking thing always put on the Discovery Channel.
I believe in ghosts.
My TV was haunted. My cable box was haunted.
Right? So we can't, to the point, I swear to God, we peed. I think I peed. I know, Bob. I peed. This guy was pounding. He grabbed it. He slammed it on his TV. He's pounding it, dude. And I think, dude, me and Bezak got so many stories, bro. We have one. I gotta tell you, Greg. This is, it. So it's snowing out. And when you're kids in Pittsburgh, you throw snowballs.
Hell yeah.
You do. Sometimes you have a spot And the spot's right up by the Jewish graveyard there, off a cliff. And you roll.
That's a good spot.
Yeah, so sometimes, you roll the bottom of snowman and you're like 1, 2, 3, and you try to hit the buses, whatever, right? So we see this, we're like, no one's ever gonna get us. It's like the cliff is like the best spot you could ever have. Boom, we hit this, it was a white Riviera, right? And we could tell it was red interior because the guy had a super big sunroof. Boom, 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 and wind gaps down there, and
Putting two and two together.
two and two together. So we're smacking him like extra. Wow, wow. He comes back up. Wow, wow. And next thing you know, there was a guy up here that lived up here in the circle named Buggo Henderson, right? Black guy Buggo Henderson, and he comes running down. He has Timberlands on, and I remember this cliff is a big fucking cliff, and Zach was crazy. So he comes running down, whoa, whoa, and we see this dude, and I'm looking at the cliff, and I'm looking at him, and Bazak don't take 2 seconds. He jumps off the cliff. And I'm like,
I'll take the cliff.
I'm like, holy fuck, he just committed suicide. Like, what the fuck? And Buggo grabs me, but he knows Frankie.
Yeah.
And he knew he couldn't do nothing to me. He's like shaking me. Dodd, I'm gonna fuck you up. You fucked my car up. Where's Bazak? Hey, Bazak, get the fuck up or I'm gonna fuck Dodd up right now. And you just hear Bazak, fuck you. I was like, oh shit, here we go. And he brought me home. He was so mad. He brought me home. He told mom. He was like, yeah, he's lucky I don't kick his ass. I'm serious. He's lucky I know your cousin. You should just stop doing that stuff. And I'm like, oh man. My mom's like, you better quit doing that stuff. I'm like, all right. And like the next day, I get in trouble for hitting like the Pat Bus guy. Dude, the Pat Bus drivers, they'd have that big window.
Oh my gosh!
And
yeah.
it was hot in the buses, so they have it open a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I used to terrorize this one dude, right? Because we used to ski him. I don't know if you remember.
The same bus driver would be every day. That was his route.
Yeah, but I mean, like sometimes what skiing cars is. Like we used to grab onto the back of bumpers.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd ski the car because they didn't have like the salt back then. It
Right.
was just like when it snowed, you
Yeah.
put shingles in the back of your truck or whatever your car.
Just hope you had traction.
And then we give you traction. There was like 10 kids.
Spoken from the kid of a
Yeah,
roofer.
right.
Shingles, whatever you had laying around.
So there were like 10 kids on your bumper cruising all the way from the front of Allendale all the way back here trying to get a ride. And this bus driver would always just stop and he would wait till everyone get off and he would go a little bit and he would stop. He like made people late for their whatever. He was an asshole. So Mitch's Deli was up there and I remember it was like a little
Mitch's
gap.
Deli.
Oh man, I was like, whew. I used to terrorize that guy because he'd be driving, bam, and he would it would shock him, right? He would like, and then one time I hit him, and it hit him in the head because he had his window open. He was so mad.
That was near McGonigal. I think I remember that was right in front of McGonigal.
That was right in front of Mitch's Deli.
Where you hit him?
Yeah, it was right in front of Mitch's Deli. I nailed him, and the cops came and got me or whatever. They brought me back home, but I was walking the Greenway, and I'm walking the Greenway, and it was in the morning, and it was like, it was snowing out, whatever. And I just hear this huge engine roar. And I look back, and it's the bus driver, and he hits this puddle, and it's like a wave of dark, nasty shit. And it just totally soaked me. And Greg, I was not pissed off at all. I was like,
I deserve that.
he got me back so good. And every time I seen him drive up here on Allendale, he would just smile at me. No matter, I think I quit hitting him. Like I hit the window a couple times, and he'd just smile at me, and I'm like, fuck, you got me.
See, we're too lazy. We just go in the front yard.
Yeah.
Like our front yard out off to the side, there were those trees. You
Dude.
could just hide over the cliff and hit.
You had it. Yeah, if you wanted to do that, you had the best spot.
Yeah. Yeah, but they knew
Yeah.
where we were, though.
Sure.
Like, doing it from our house. But yeah, I got busted a few times there. Some narc on a school bus turned me in in grade school.
It's always a bus, dude. The buses
Yeah.
are narcos.
Yeah,
Dude.
we wall up the school bus, and a friend of ours turned us in. I was like 4th grade, but
Man.
still, he paid for it.
Yeah, you know what's up with that? Your buddies turning you. Your buddies try to get you in trouble.
Oh yeah,
Have you ever had a buddy like try to get you in trouble, but actually got you out of trouble?
Explain this.
So like me,
I'm confused. I don't know.
so we're down at the Ugly Dog
Accidentally?
Saloon. Yeah, like no,
Accidentally
he's
gets
trying
you
to get you in trouble, right? The fucking asshole. So we're down there, and my buddy Mike Gorchuk,
I got
shout out
lots
to
of
Mike.
friends like that. Yeah.
We're down there, and we meet these girls, and like I tell them where I live, and it's closing time or whatever, and they're gonna be down there, so and so. But Mike's all drunk. He's like 5'2", thinks he's 6'8", and he's drunk. He's like, "Take me through Taco Bell." I'm like, "Bro, we gotta go get these. I don't fuck them. Whatever. Let's go."
I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry. So I go through, and he gets like the $20 pack of tacos.
No, it's right
It's
there.
Like, gives you like
It's
20
easy.
tacos for $10, whatever it
Yeah.
is. And I fly down. You know where Bodden Appliances?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's like gravel. So I go down and I California roll that stop sign.
That little triangle right there.
Yeah, because I didn't know there was city cops right behind me. So they light me up. They pull me over. Yeah, and I'm pretty toasted, right? I go back and they're having me do the the whole sobriety test thing, and he's eating the taco. He's like, have him touch his nose. He'll never get that one. Make him touch his nose. And the black city cops are like, you get the one turning his head, the one's turning his head. They can't conduct their investigation because this guy's making them laugh. So they walk off. And the one's like, shines the fucking light, and he's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at, you Taco Bell eating motherfucker? Throw the fucking tacos out." And he's like, unwrapped. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna get me for littering." No. And he's eating the tacos as fast as he can. He's like, "I said, throw them tacos out right now, motherfucker." And he throws them out. And the cop they're dying, bro. They're cracking up laughing. And he fucking steps on him, and fucking Gorchuk's so pissed off, bro. He's all mad as fuck. And the cop's like, "Where do you live?" I said, "Right on Hammond Street, man. It's like 2 minutes away." I was just going up, and this dickhead made me go through fucking Taco Bell. And now we're gonna miss these chicks we're meeting, man. I'm so sorry, man. And he's like, "Well, we don't get off till whatever." And I live right near Hammond. That fucking car better beat her. And my car, dude, this thing was notorious.
Was that the Cougar?
The Cougar. I had a gray Cougar, right? And I already pulled over once, and I don't know what happened down in Broadhead, if you remember Broadhead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I get pulled over, and it's winter, it's a blizzard, and we get pulled over, and I'm like, fuck, man, fuck. And next thing you know, 2 cops show up, paddy wagon shows up, housing authority, sheriffs. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? My buddy Dave was like, "You ran somebody over." I'm like, "Fuck you, man. Did I really? They're fuck with me, right? And I don't have a coat because I ran up just to hang out at the local place, you know what I mean? And your buddy's dad saved me that night.
Oh, Tony.
So yeah, they're like, hands out. But I had a Cougar, like whatever, 1985 Cougar with a bra, rims on it, whatever.
So they knew you from there.
Right. Well, they got a call, for a murder with a Cougar, a bra, rims, but mine had like a wreck on it or whatever. They had us all on the ground, laid out, like, guns drawn, everything, and then they got the call that.
They got the
shot
guy.
the dude or whatever.
We got him.
They got him, right? So
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we're good. And so next thing you know, they're like, "All right, driver." Everybody get back in the car, and they're like, "All right, driver, you come back here." And they're making me do the sobriety test, and I'm giving them every fucking excuse I know, right? "Dude, it's 2 below zero. What do you expect?" And they're like, and the one guy's like, "Hey, are you Bob Dodd's brother?" I'm like, "Maybe."
That's like the Frank Dodd question. Are you related to Frank Dodd?
Does he owe you money?
I don't know how I want to answer that. Amy, my wife Amy, she just decided, because she'd get that all the time when we first got married. She'd go somewhere and like, "Oh, you related to Frank Dodd?" And at first it was like, "Well, yeah, there's Frank and Frank and Frank and Frank," and now she's just like, "No." Just a flat out, no, don't know.
Yeah, because Uncle Frank was real known.
Well, and Frankie.
Yeah, like,
well, how many Franks are there now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many Franks are there now?
Yeah. Okay.
Man.
Because Uncle Frank was the greatest, but if you didn't catch him Friday before he started throwing dice, you weren't. He was my dude, but dude.
Oh,
There
man.
was, they would be like, hey, you gotta go to Frank. I'm coming down there right now. Don't you start fucking betting on football.
Dude, I remember that cougar because I got it stuck on top of an 8-foot snow mound.
That sounds like that cougar's been through some shit, man.
Dude, the cougar, man. Billy
They're
let me.
nice cars.
Billy, I was 16 years old. Billy let me take it. He was like, "Don't mess my car up." It's always, "Don't mess my car." I'm like, I wouldn't mess it up. He had bald tires, and it's wintertime. And I'm,
Well, you don't have money for tires.
Who got money for
You got a
tires?
car.
it
What
got
more do you
rims
want?
on it.
I
It got
have
rims. No
Right?
tires, whatever.
Beer
Tires.
money.
Yeah.
So I don't know the street name, but I'm coming down to what is it? It's like
Tyndall.
coming to Noblestown Road, but it's like that steep road from. I keep you have West. I haven't lived here in a long time. No. This is like Noblestown Road, where where like so BP gas station, and there's the Crossway and Poplar and Noblestown, all the way at the top. What's that area called up there?
Green Tree?
Green Tree.
No. That's the other end. What's the the close going towards Crafton?
Oh, the
West or
you mean with all the apartments there?
Right back.
oh my gosh. Anyway, there's a steep hill that comes down and that comes around to Noblestown. I come down and I'm treating my brother's car.
I know where you're talking about. Westwood.
Westwood, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm coming down towards Westwood from like Parkway Center, the steep road.
I know the road. Yeah.
And-
Because you have to make a sharp left at the very bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm treating this car like it's like a Bentley. Like I'm not messing my brother's car up. Anyway, coming down, and all of a sudden the car just goes, just starts sliding around. I don't know how many 360s I do, and then I'm trying to steer it the best I can. And at the bottom of the hill, I just go boom, and all of a sudden I'm like, we're pointed up to the sky,
And you're just on a
dude, I don't see anything but sky, and I'm like, I don't know. And I had a friend in the car at the time, and I look at her and I'm like, I think we're okay. She doesn't know what to do, like she's like, oh, okay. And I go like, let's get out. I go to get out, and I look down and I'm like, oh man, we're like really far up in the air. I don't know what we're gonna do. And so I go to get out, and I get her out, and it really was like 8 feet in the air, because it was like about 1.5 feet, 2 feet over my head. And this really cool van with like dually van is like, I'll pull you out. Yeah. So he does, and I'm just like, for starters, that van came probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours after it happened. So we were up
there
on
for a
that.
while.
Yeah, we were there for a while, and I didn't know what to do. And this was before cell phones, And the guy, he pulls us down, and every pull, boom, like hit the car would sound like it was in a collision.
What am I doing to my brother's car?
Yeah, and every time like boom, hey Bill, can you give me another? And then like boom, like I'm like, oh my gosh, he's killing my he's killing my brother's car, and like finally he hits it one more time, the car just goes down this way, and I'm like, immediately I thought it was gonna like roll over, but it came down, and then he pulled it like up the hill. And thank you, Bill. And I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell my brother this. So like me and my friend, we looked at the car for probably about a half hour just to make sure, I mean, I wasn't able to look completely under it, but we did tell you about it. I'm surprised you don't remember. But anyway, yeah. So that like van with the dually van, the 4-wheel drive dually van, pulled us off, and I was just like, oh man, I just destroyed my
Like a
brother's
creeper
car.
van.
No, dude, this was like a lifted. This
Giving away
was
puppies.
no. This was like this van. I wish I would own that. I would own this van today if I could.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a nice van. It was a 4-wheel drive dually.
Because you do get help from like weird people sometimes when you need it,
Yeah.
like me and Gorchuk.
Where you can't get away fast enough.
Right,
You're like,
like
thank
we
you
took-
very much, but I gotta get the hell out of here.
To bring up like old shit like Damien's grave. Whoever don't know it, look it up. I can explain it to you right now, but
Resurrection Cemetery.
we go up there with these two girls we meet, and I don't know what he want. I don't know if he wants to scare them to where they're gonna like hold on. I don't know what he's doing, right? But he wants to go up there. I'll take you up there, bro, but I ain't going nowhere near that fucking place. So we go up there, and I ain't getting out the car. They do their thing. They jump back in. Go, go. We pull up right to the fucking front gates, and that Grand Marquis stalled. Dead. I'm like,
That beautiful Grand Marquis you have.
and Mike's like, we're fucking around, bro. Let's get out of here, bro. Like he's scared. He's scared, you know? And the girls are like almost crying. And I'm like, hey, man, fuck you. It's straight up dead, you know? And he tries to start it. He's like, fuck. And the girl jumps up. Oh, get out of here. She's trying to start it. She can't start it. I'm like, it's dead. And this guy in this little fucking rabbit or whatever, scary looking dude, right? Billy Bob Thornton looking motherfucker. Pulls up. And he's like,
I'll help you.
He's like, are you stalled? And we're like, I wanted to say no, shithead. Like, I'm like, but I'm scared. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, give me a minute. Floors it, goes away. And we're like, what the fuck was that? And here he comes up like 5 minutes later, dude. We're still trying to start this thing and nothing. He comes flying up right on our bumper. He gets out with a bat, you know? I'm like, what the fuck? And Mike's like, fucking, the girl starts screaming, and he pops his hood open. That's what he used to prop his hood open. He had to go get his jumper cables. Fucking dude was
We
so
have to go
cool.
get the cables with a bat.
That dude was so fucking cool, man.
He's like, I'm gonna fuck with these people. I'm gonna go grab my bat, and then I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna put that bat under my thing. I'm gonna get out with that bat, and that is gonna totally freak him out.
The biggest one, dude. They got out. The girl started screaming, dude. He props it open, pulls his. He's like, "Pop your hood." I'm like, "All right, pop the hood." He starts it up for us after a couple minutes, and then we gave him like 2-3 beers. We drank one with him, dude. He was like coolest motherfucker, you know. He was like, "What the fuck you guys doing up here, man?" He looks. He's like, "Oh, you got the girls, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Honestly, bro, it's a bad idea to come up here. Cops are like."
Yeah.
Better places, and he told us like quarter mile down the road, there's a place where you can park. You can see the airplanes and stuff. He's like way better than coming up here. Yeah.
You didn't want to admit that you're going to like see Damien's grave.
That was the last time I was like, I'll never go there again, bro. That's stupid.
Man.
That's where Aunt Kathy's in there. Uncle Chuck's first wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember we used to go to White Swan Park?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love that
Remember,
Good night,
place.
remember we would climb.
sweetheart.
Do you ever climb the hill and go to the
Yes.
cemetery? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
White
I
Swan Park
remember.
was a blast.
Oh my gosh. I talk about White Swan Park to my
The
son.
Mad Rabbit. Didn't that fucking thing go somewhere else? Like, did it made its way
yeah.
to another?
Country.
I think so. Yeah.
No,
It's
it went to another
another park.
Another park.
I don't know. I remember the rat race thing, and
It was the
then
Mad Mouse.
Galaxy was the
ma-
roller coaster.
the mousetrap one was like
The Mousetrap. Yeah, the Mousetrap.
Yeah. I thought it was a Mad Mouse.
I think it was the Mad
think it
Mouse.
was
It
the
could be the Mad Mouse. Dude, you got to remember, I was 4
Do you
or
remember?
5 years
Do you remember
old.
the year the power went out?
Oh no! I mean, if
We
you talk about
were all
it,
there. The whole family was there. The power goes out, so nothing's happening in the park. So you got a bunch of Dodds. We're all bored. Everybody goes into remember the bumper cars? Everybody hops in a bumper car, and we start pushing people around in the bumper cars, playing bumper cars, and people, surprisingly slippery floor.
I want you. I mean, I don't remember much from the accident that I had when worked for Garage Door.
Oh, we have the door company.
yeah. I wonder sometimes how sore that subject is for you, or if it's sore at all for you.
No, it's not so. I feel bad because your mom thought you died.
Well, the news said that.
I know.
Channel 11 News said that Bob Dodd died.
in an accident.
In an accident.
And I'm going. I forget where I was.
I was late to the party because I just heard.
You were busy being a troublemaker.
Yeah.
I was here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you were here in Pittsburgh when this happened.
Yeah. I remember getting
I
a
think
call
so.
that there was an accident.
Or no, you were in California.
Yeah, I think I was because I remember you got. And I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember getting the call. There was an accident, and we were getting conflicting stories. We couldn't get any idea what was going on. You weren't life flighted though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you were life flighted too? Okay. I know the other guy and his kids were life flighted, and I remember somebody telling me that Bobby's dead. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. Yeah. No, it's I'm just happy everybody came out.
Yeah, the news said it.
Alive.
The news
The
said
news
it.
and I remember that.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off. I was like, they shouldn't be able to do that. They should have to,
Yeah. They scrubbed it. I can't find it. I saw it a long time ago. And
Of
then
course they
scrubbed
did
it.
because That's probably against the law, bro.
Yeah, I don't know, but I could tell you this much, dude. I went through a cycle in life that I never want to go through again, where I thought I killed somebody. So I thought I killed somebody,
I've
There?
been there.
and I thought you were lying to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I thought you and Ray were like just trying to like keep me like from whatever, not like I don't know. But I was like, I killed somebody. I killed a little girl. I didn't, you know.
No, everybody, that's when I learned well, I don't like attorneys anyway, but just a little insight into that. Because we had two companies. We had ATM Laser, which is the one I was running, and then we had the door company. And so we had a sit down with attorneys and insurance people and everything. And that's when they tried to link everything together. They were trying to link our homes. They were trying to link the companies together. They were trying to link as much as they could to the door company
To leverage, yeah.
so that they could sue us for as much money as possible. And I think we had a $1.5 million policy,
Wow.
and they sued for $1.5 million.
Wow.
And they settled. And but that's
I still have nightmares.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
That was not a good time.
So what? You were on your phone? What were you doing? You're fucking around? What's happening?
No, there was no phone.
that's when we had the
Text to tell, the text,
Nextel.
the Nextel. Yeah.
beep, beep.
So
What happened?
I don't remember anything that happened. I only remember what some of the police reports said. So in the hospital, they said that I had amnesia. So
That's what I say when
Well-
ugly girl. No,
Selective amnesia.
yeah, well,
kidding.
unfortunately, I don't remember really anything. However, I have nightmares that come out of the blue for some reason, and what I remember out of the nightmares were that I killed somebody. And
that was just a nightmare, though.
no, I mean,
Or do you remember the accident? Like you remember the accident? And you're
No, it's
blacked out after that and was like, I don't know.
No, it's like I'll wake up in the middle of the night like I killed somebody, and then I'll have that like oh no, what do I do? And it still happens. I don't know how to shake it, but
Well, they got I'm sure they got a nice settlement out of it, and I don't think any of them. I remember they were suing because the girl was going to have a scar, and I don't even think it was on her face.
well, I know that like I think the I think he and a girl broke their legs or something like
they
that.
broke bones. They definitely broke their legs.
Yeah.
But I remember in them talking about the lawsuit, she was going to be scarred.
Yeah.
And I think it was her legs that were going to be scarred.
Yeah.
And, so that was.
And if you're
that was
listening
one
to
of the
this, I'm so
tallies.
sorry that happened. I mean, I have nightmares to this
Yeah,
day about
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't begrudge them anything
No.
that they got. But I just remember the whole scenario of trying to link other stuff so they could.
Yeah.
And this was not the people. This was
The
the
lawyers.
attorneys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Good old Edgar Snyder.
Well, didn't the guy
doing-
work for my dad as a roofer at one point?
I don't even know. I had no contact with them. They wouldn't let us have any contact with them whatsoever.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, once again, my mind and the rumors and everything else like that. But I tell Angela sometimes, like, if I ever like wake up and like have a hard time breathing, it's because of that scenario.
Yeah.
Because
I feel bad about that. I feel.
no, you don't need to feel bad at all. I'm the one that
Well,
like
I do,
wrecked.
but still, I'm the one who put you out there.
No. I mean, like from the police report, it's all my fault. Like, I mean, I think that's from what the police report said.
I remember you. From what we were told is we had those stupid Nextel phones. And I don't know if you were talking to Ray or you had dropped the phone.
No, I had. So the phone was at my
fell
house.
off the.
The phone was at my house,
Oh.
and I was. So the report said that I was looking for the phone. So I basically was, I guess, trying to find the phone so I could call somebody because I remember I was in McMurray and I couldn't find the address. This was before GPSs. So I was looking for the phone. So I was like looking down and I don't know, like I guess I was looking, but the phone wasn't in the van.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, and this is too with Jim. He told me some things because he was in Peters Township. But yeah, so the phone wasn't in the van. I don't think. Yeah, the phone definitely wasn't in the van. And I was trying to find the address, and somehow I hit a guardrail, and then I hit these people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a scary time. Yeah.
I got life flighted, and I do remember telling the nurse I don't want a catheter because they cut my clothes off me, and I was completely naked, and my penis is flapping around.
I thought you were gonna say they cut my penis off. I'm like,
No.
I didn't know you lost that in there.
Well, no, like the nurse, like so so I'm in the helicopter, and they from what I remember, as we were getting lifted up, I didn't know I was in a helicopter, but I felt a lot of shaking, and my penis was out, and
was this before or after the crash?
no, this was like this had to have been in the
Now we
helicopter.
know
Now
the
we
real
know.
story. Bobby,
Man,
God damn it!
Couldn't wait to get to the job site.
miracles. Would you? Oh my God.
Truth comes out finally.
Oh, jeez.
But I remember something. I mean, once again, these could be like implanted people telling me.
It's funny because we're both like firsthand. We were
Yeah.
both there, and neither one of us really knows what happened.
Yeah.
After all that.
Yeah. I feel so bad though, but I
I
have.
don't feel bad at all.
Well, no, like that's the thing. Like, I thought I killed somebody because
Right.
no one would tell me what was going on.
But that's what I'm saying. Everybody's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully I don't have these dreams anymore. Because, dude, I'll wake up and I'm like, why am I like? And then I'm in Georgia. You know, I'm not even in Pittsburgh. And
Right.
I'll be like, oh man, dude, Gregg hates me.
Nah.
Or like, dude, Ray probably wants to kill me.
Yeah, but who cares?
But no. I mean, these are things that you know that you don't have any control of thinking about. That just happens.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So yeah. So I was in a car. I was in a van accident, and you know, I just always wondered like, is there because like, is there photos? Is there like documentation? Because like, I was always afraid to ask you if like
I've never seen anything.
Yeah, it'd be cool to
But
get.
I mean, the whole thing was settled out of court. Like there
Yeah.
was no trial, there was no anything. So it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much. You know, we were kind of like, all right, well,
You know,
hey, it's
Jim
obviously our fault.
Yeah, Jim can keep it real, and Jim was like, "You're lucky." You know, you look at Jim, you're like, "I guess I'm lucky."
Yeah.
You know, like I agree with you, I'm lucky.
I am lucky.
Yeah. So that's wild, man. Like all
What I remember is my insurance agent had the balls to come up to me like a month later and was like, well, I think that we should up your insurance to like $5 million per incident. And I'm like, why would I do that? Then there people just going to sue me for $5 million.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I want to just lower it
Yeah.
because
Right.
they don't want to go to trial.
Yeah.
They want to come in and they want to settle for what they can get. And
Yeah.
they know what, you know, these
Right.
attorneys are like, well, he's got $1 million of insurance coverage, blah, blah, blah. So we'll sue for $1 million. They'll settle out of court and boom, we'll take our 40% and go home.
Yeah. Man. That's wild. I'm sorry for that. I don't know if I've ever said I'm
Don't
sorry.
be sorry, man.
No, but I am. Because like even to this day, how many years ago is that? And it's still
That's got to be.
I don't know how you live with yourself, bro.
no, dude. Like
Spoken like a true brother.
Hey man, dude, shit happens, bro.
Bill never wrecked anything of mine.
Never. Did I?
dude.
What did I write?
No, I said you never wrecked anything of mine.
Oh, I wrecked Laura's shit.
Yeah.
Laura, I love you.
She's not listening to this.
That, you never know. But that was another.
Laura, if you're out there, I hope you're doing well. We love you, and
She's a good one.
That was another Damien Grave incident.
Damien Grave. What's
Yeah, we went up to see Damien's grave, and then I wrecked her car.
dude, I remember.
And she was like, "You're not gonna wreck it, are you?" I'm like, "Hell no!" And I already took it like 2 or 3 times, and it was just like having fun, you know. I didn't even drive with shoes on because I was like, "I'm not, you know, we're just gonna have fun. I'm not taking this far at all." And then we went somewhere, and anyways, you know,
Dude.
dumb shit happened, and I wrecked.
You wrecked her car. That's how
because
stupid
of
we were.
Damien's grave.
And I felt so bad.
Damien's grave rings true. Then
I tried to.
No.
I tried to play dumb once. This is how stupid we were as kids. I begged my dad. There was this 67 Impala for sale down the street. And I'm like, I wanted this car. So I ended up buying the car, like $900 or something like that. And car was awesome. But anyway, we're at some party and we're going home and I've got a carload of people. I'm going down, Linwood and Crafton. It's a real steep hill, but it's got stop signs all the way down. It's like stop.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going down that hill and I'm taking people home. I'm like, I'm not stopping at these stop signs. So I'm flying down this hill. One buddy of mine's like, stop the car. You have to let me out of here. This is fucking crazy. So I stopped the car. I let him out. My other buddy climbs out on the roof. I'm flying down the hill.
Hell yeah.
He peeks. He's like looking in the windshield at me upside down, And I'm like, and so down the hill and we go and make the right and you can go into the underpass and there's the AM/PM, the old mini market.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And across from the police station. Well, I make that turn and I'm cruising up there and there's a cop just sitting right there. I'm like, oh,
Just waiting.
so I turn around, I back up and there's a steel utility pole. Well, I just hit this steel utility pole. I back right into it. Look in my rearview mirror. My buddy is now flying through the air backwards. And there's this cop just starts coming down. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. So I go around the corner. I pull around and I go and I park right in front of St. Philip's Church. And, we're just going to lay low. Well, the cop just, knows exactly where we're at, because we're stupid. And again, gives us talking to, tells us to go home. So I go home, park the car, go to bed, wake up the next morning. What happened to the car? My dad. What happened to the car? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to play stupid. And again,
I give up. What happened?
What happened to the car? I don't know. It's just one of those.
Pretty good.
Stupid ass. Like, I don't know. Like thinking I can get away with it. But yeah. So we've all done stupid ass shit.
Heck yeah.
Dumb shit. Like I want to tell my kids so much, but I can't.
You should. You should tell your kids everything.
Once they hit 21, you can do that.
Yeah,
like Greggy, I tell him all the stories now. I mean, he's 36 years old now, so
yeah, that's true. And learn. From
and most people, like all my
What's
nieces,
it like having a 30-year-old kid?
Yeah, dude. How about that?
It's, I don't know, man. I still feel like I'm 20. I'm like
right?
I'm a 20-year-old
Right?
trapped in a
But you're leading them on the right path. You guys are hanging
60-year-old body.
If you dyed
you're very
your
lucky.
hair, you would definitely pass for 40.
Don't dye your fucking hair, bro.
I'm not gonna dye my hair.
No, you're not a chick.
No.
Every time I think about you, I'm like,
Well,
that's my coolest cousin.
I identify as Gen X. No, technically, I'm a boomer. but
Exactly.
I'm the last year of a boomer, but I identify as Gen X.
They had like this meme on TikTok, and it was like all the gens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at whatever, and then Gen X, and it was like Gen X was like love your neighbor, whatever, and then it was fucking Arnie and his fucking and he's like crush your enemies. That was Gen X. I was like, yeah, I like posted it to everybody I know. Because there's some wild shit going on right now in the world.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
But you can't post everything you want to post because some of your
don't post.
homies aren't with that.
I only post funny, stupid.
That's hard. That's hard.
I learned
Yeah, 'cause
early. I
some-
learned early. When when I first got on Facebook, I'd get all serious, and that's how you lose friends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Nothing but goofy, silly.
You know what?
jokes,
That's the way to be.
pictures.
That's the way to be.
Me, I use it to keep in touch with people who are all around the country.
Yeah.
Look at their pictures, see their kids, whatever. But yeah. I love
Man.
it. And nowadays it's useless. Social media is just a joke.
Right. And they have this AI shit. Like the AI shit.
Half of it's fake.
AI took
It's
my
all
job.
fake. It's all fake. Yeah, it's doing an amazing job, but some
No,
of
they
this
they
shit-
took my job.
Yeah, I know. You're one of the victims.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, dude, I lost so many jobs
Well, I
because of
think
AI.
I think you're in the right direction, man. This is pretty cool. I like this.
Well, I always tell Ethan, I said, AI is never going to build a deck.
That's exactly right.
AI is never going to replace a roof.
Now a robot.
Well, I mean, like with like 3D
you can print
printing.
pretty
can-
much everything
The
now.
Tesla robot, he might be able to build it.
Right. Like how badass would that be? Just to go like, we should be the first fuckers to like
I think we're
3D
already,
print a deck.
I think we're too far behind.
It might be like real awesome.
They're already doing houses, man. So
But
we're,
it's in
we're way
Sheraden.
behind.
Hey, yeah, but it's in Sheraden, so who
In
gives
Sheraden.
a fuck?
I hear them Sheraden decks are the best.
Right?
I mean, they're 30 degrees off, but yo, they're only $300.
Yeah, they made them shits out of Schlitz malt liquor bottles, bro.
Schlitz.
Oh my god,
Remember Schlitz?
Hell yeah.
dude,
Remember 40s?
The bull.
yeah, I
Give me a
remember.
When I
You
left
bought me.
Sheraden-
You bought
Give me
me.
a 40 and a bull.
40 and
So
the
Bill-
Blue or the Red Bull?
Bill, I mean, so like we'll end this podcast here soon, but Bill was the first person to introduce alcohol to all my friends. So you bought us the first Red Dogs. You bought us the first. What was like the like grape, whatever. Like there was.
Mad Dog
MD 2020.
2020.
Mad
That's
Dog.
what he was talking about.
Mogan David.
Yeah.
Mogan David.
My parents used to buy that. That's what my brother used to get me drunk on
Is that
when I
what
was
it's
little.
called, Mogan David?
Mogan David's what it used to be called because they used to have like a nice little basket. It'd be
Yeah.
like a wine bottle with a basket on it.
It wasn't
real
called
fancy.
Mad Dog 2020?
It was Mogan David back in the day, and then I think
MD
they changed
2020.
it to MD 2020. I think that's the same stuff.
I remember
Don't-
grape would be the only one I would drink, and then I would say, "My brother's gonna get us some Mad Dog," and everyone would be like, "I only got $1," and
All
then
you needed.
well, no, like this is like one of the things. My brother would pitch in like the last like $3 or $4 that we needed. You would buy it. I'll get it for you.
See, my brother's never bought me a drink.
No?
Never bought me- no.
Dude, I just remember how hard it was to scour Sheraden. You'd have to get the 20-year-old that was drunk enough. Like, hey man, we
Dude.
take you down to
we
Still
had
Rocks.
we had a connection.
Did you?
Yeah, we had a connection, a guy, and you would buy him a 6-pack, and he would just go buy you a case or whatever.
Yeah, see, we had these guys too, but we also had some
Old
motherfuckers.
Milwaukee.
I'm not gonna mention any names right now, but we also used to we want a case of 30-pack of Bud, and we knew that was like $13, right? Whatever it was back
Yeah.
then, So we give him
that was too high for us.
we give him we give a guy like $30 or whatever, and I remember this one dude came back. He had a case of Goebel. We're
Joe
like,
Bell.
Yeah, Joe Bell.
Joe Bell.
And we're like, what the fuck is this, man? We found it was like $8.
Yeah, Joe Bell, red, white, and blue.
Oh my gosh.
Remember beer? You
Yeah.
guys remember the generic
Beer,
white
yeah,
cans, just like beer.
yeah.
Joe Bell, red, white, and blue. PBR. Well, PBR is still a classic.
I don't. Natty Ice was always the go-to
Ugh.
for my buddies. That would be the same thing. And you
Yeah.
know, to add to that, so like shout out to my buddy Neil and Adam and Mike,
With the Mickey's Big Mouth.
dude.
Oh,
they would.
The hand grenades.
Neil had this like Chevy Nova, 1987 Chevy Nova, and we would put the beer. Like I didn't drink really until I met Angela, and that's not a bad thing. She introduced me to alcohol, but they would keep their beer in Neil's Chevy Nova trunk, and sometimes it would be like 100 degrees in there, and they'd be like, "We got beer!" And they were so excited they got beer. You know, at 16, 17 years old, we got beer. And they would crack open this hot ass naughty ice.
See, that's the shit we do.
They touch the can, like, I can't touch it.
It's
I
too
can't
hot,
touch
it's
the
too
can. It's too hot. And they would drink the naughty ice.
Yeah, that's the crazy shit we used to do. And like we drank in high school. We
Yeah.
were getting, we get
I was,
trashed and go to a basketball game. But we like the thing you did in high school back in the late 70s and 80s is we drank and drive.
yeah.
Drink and drive. That's
You
we'd get
got
a case
good
of
at
beer,
it.
You'd hit the road,
Dude,
you'd
okay.
drink,
So I gave you one of mine. Did you have any drinking and driving?
Oh, I got all
Let's
kinds
hear-
of
let's hear one, let's
drinking
hear
and driving.
We need to hear one. Were cops involved? Like one where cops were involved.
Just
Well,
so you
that was
know,
the one-
I don't have any.
That was the one.
I got all yours.
The cops involved was
I
the
know.
one going down the road where I backed into
yeah.
the pole. Another thing we used to do, we had a buddy, and his name was Rich Baker, and he had a Ford Bronco, and
Remember talking to that mic.
we would
the mic.
we're in 11th grade, 12th grade, and I don't know where we got the alcohol from. We used to take, my parents would have dinner parties, and people would bring them alcohol, but my parents didn't really drink, so it would find its way, and we would literally drive the Bronco around, drink, and go to basketball games, high school basketball games,
Hell
whatever. And then I remember one time, and the cops were not involved in here, but I decided I was going to work the pedals, and he was gonna work the steering wheel.
Nice.
So I literally climbed down. I mean, I'm not a big guy, so I literally climbed down in there, and I got my head down, and I got the gas, and I got the brake, and he's yelling, "Gas, brake, gas, brake, gas, brake!" And we're driving through Crafton, and we got a couple girls in the back. The Halushchek sisters probably were with us, and
Wait, say that one more time.
One more time.
Paula Halushchek.
Paula.
Good
Shout out to
Ukrainian.
Paula.
Shout out to Paula.
Paula and Missy.
Paula, we miss you.
They were good Ukrainian girls.
Oh.
As they should be. All
Must
Ukrainian
love ya.
girls are good.
Yeah, but just stupid stuff like that. And just driving around. We're in this, my buddy owned a funeral home. Jim Bagnato's funeral home.
Oh, nice.
We used
No
to drive,
shit,
we used to
bro.
drive the Beast.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
The Beast was what they would. It was a big old station wagon, and that's what they would go pick up bodies in. Well, when
fuck outta
he
here.
used to
Talking to the mic, dude. We're
that was his,
What?
that was his
This
car.
is
So
crazy.
we would again do the same thing. Go get some beers, drive around the Beast, and just tool around Crafton, Carnegie, just
Driving
whatever
around in the
you're doing.
Beast.
But I just I remember one time we'd come flying down onto Washington Avenue, and he hits the curb and misses the turn, flies up into a parking lot, and we're just teetering on one of those little parking things, So luckily, the thing, there were so many people in that, it was a huge vehicle, so there's
Everybody
probably
lean
4 or
forward.
5 of us, like, everybody get on, push it, lift it up, push it off, and boom, we're on our way.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Heck
Hell
yeah.
yeah, dude.
But that was,
yeah.
it was a, like, drinking was a huge part of of high school.
Dude,
Yeah, these little pussies now, they fucking like, let's vape. Like, dude, what?
no.
Fucking, like,
Dude,
I want
I-
to tell Billy and Chris, like my sons, I don't want to tell them, you know what I mean? But
No,
it's like,
well, here's the thing. Going into high school, when I told them that I didn't want to play football, they were like, "What?
who?
You're a Dodd. You don't want to play football?"
Oh, they didn't care.
Coach, whatever the coach.
Oh,
No,
the
the
coaches.
Langley,
Oh,
the
I
coach
see
from
the coach.
Langley.
Well, like Frankie joked, like Banky, one of the coaches or something.
Mankey,
happened.
dude, yeah.
I tried to play. I fucking played my heart out for fucking Langley, and I was good. I'm not saying I'm good. I'm sorry, I take that back. I was mediocre, but I played my heart out for Langley. And one of the coaches, like, even put me up with one of the biggest fucking linemen, and we fucking knocked heads.
Dude, coach.
And-
yeah, Merlot, right?
No,
What's his name? What's his name? No, Mankey.
No, Mankey was the head coach, but one of the other coaches, one of the younger coaches, put me and some dude up. And he was big and fucking we clashed.
Did the same
And
thing
we,
to me.
We followed over, like he didn't push me back, and I was half his size. We went over, and he was like, "Yeah, dog, but you ain't gonna start." I'm like, "Why?"
Dude,
Mankey fucking hates you because your cousin choked him. I'm like,
Well-
"What?"
No,
The
so
fuck? I gave
so
up.
Mankey-
I quit, bro.
Mankey called. He literally. I remember.
Fuck Mankey, the fucking.
Well, so it was like something happened where I tried out for Langley football for 9th grade, and Mankey was like, "You're gonna try out?" I'm like, "I was told to try out." Yeah, like I don't know. I was told to do this, and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Your brother was good. Your cousin was good. Are you gonna be good?"
Who he said your brother was good?
Yeah, he knew
What a
you,
faggot.
dude.
What a fucking piece of
Dude,
shit.
he wasn't
he
gonna
was probably
start.
fucking
Hold
baiting
on.
you, bro. He was
Well,
baiting you.
so-
He wanted you to try. I promise you, bro. He wanted you to try your best, and he was gonna shut you down, just like he fucking did me.
Well, he put me up. He put me. So my partner.
That doesn't bother you anymore, right?
His name.
No, I want to. I'm so glad that Frankie.
I'm glad
smacked
you're
him,
over that.
And I
Well-
wish I would have
So-
smacked him because I tried my hard. Greg, I fucking really tried as hard as I could, and I wasn't great at football, but I.
No,
I
no,
tried.
no, no,
'Cause
no,
I
no.
wanted to-
Hold on, there-
listen, because I wanted to try to make the team and hang out because all the kids that I come up
your
with,
boys
and
were
I
there.
I still got the jacket downstairs, 1985 champs, undefeated, right? Undefeated, nobody scored on us, and they all went up and played in high school, and I wanted to just be like a part of them, you know what I mean? So I tried my hardest. And I just remember the dude was like, "Yeah, Mankey fucking hates you,
Dude.
And I'm like,
Whether or
fuck
not-
him.
whether or
Why
not-
the fuck? And they started some little fucking dude before me, and you know what I mean. They started some little kid.
Whether or
before me.
not Mankey hated him or not, I have no idea. Mankey told me he was good, and Mankey told me he goes, you and your like Michael was good, and he told me
Michael was big.
he told me like, "Oh, you're gonna do this." They put me up against a dude named Cell Block. I don't even know Cell Block's name.
Wow.
His name was Cell Block. I quit. I was like, I'm not the football, I'm not the sports guy. So when I went to high school, a lot of people thought I was going to be like him. You know,
Dude, I'm like 5'6". What do you mean?
dude, you were Billy Badass.
Nah, I wish that was not true.
All
That
the
is
girls
not-
liked you.
Yeah, it's because I had Becky as a sister.
No.
Dude, I tell you what, high school was good. 'Cause Becky was like all the little cheerleaders right over here, and yeah, that was, yeah, you know what I mean, it was that was fun, but no, I wasn't. I tried my hardest, bro, but I was not a good football player.
My first girl kiss was like, oh, you're Billy's brother. Yeah, dude. Like seriously.
Yeah.
See, but that's how we lead into. Yeah, that's
I was in a band.
right.
I was getting chicks the other way.
See,
Yeah.
there you go.
You play bass, right?
I played bass. Yeah, I haven't picked up a.
You should play bass more.
I've
He
during
got a
COVID.
chick. What is he doesn't
During
need to play
COVID, I
bass.
should.
No, just for playing
He doesn't
bass.
need to play
I learned a
bass.
little guitar
He's got
during
a chick.
COVID, so I have a couple guitars. I still don't have. I gave my bass to Ben.
Okay.
Gail's son.
Nice.
Because Ben's
Dude,
a good guitar player.
Ben, I'm
Is
sorry.
he?
I just want to say sorry to Ben. Ben, I'm bro.
Don't be sorry.
No, he came over one time, bro, and it was for your mom's funeral, you know.
And you guys went rolling.
And we went rolling.
Yeah.
And Dom, this other guy was going. He was training for a fight, and I called my buddy and was like, dude, I was excited. Like, hey, my cousin's coming, man. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, well, he's at brown belt, man. He's coming from so and so. He's coming down. Well, he went and told Dom like, hey, this brown belt's coming. You could probably roll with him and tune up for the fight.
Oh, is that what happened?
But that wasn't what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be get his mind off of what was
Yeah.
happening in his life. That's what I was taking him for.
Yeah.
And we went down there.
Jiu-jitsu.
And him and fucking Dom went fucking.
Ham?
Well, yeah. They went balls to the walls, bro. And he held his own with Dom. And Dom talked about him after he left,
Yeah.
you know, but he tapped him, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Ben's apparently pretty good.
Yeah.
and
well,
Ben was really good, but his dad, like, and he was like, he'd go back and
Yeah, because I went down with it. I watched some of that, I think.
and he was like, oh, did you tune these guys up from Pittsburgh? And he was just like, turned his head down. He's like, nah. I'm like, yes, you did, dude.
dude, shout out to Ben, dude. Shout out to
Yeah,
Ben.
because that was a good, like, he didn't know that Dom Mazzota was already in UFC. He wasn't in UFC. He was in Bellator. He was already like fucking way up there in the echelons.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
was black belt. Ben was only brown belt. And I just felt so bad.
still rolled.
And I told my buddy Craig Tyler,
Gregg Taylor.
I was like, hey, man, you know, my buddy was coming up here because of his grandma's funeral, you know? And he was like, oh, fuck. It's like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry, man. I thought it would be a good...
No.
Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a growing
yeah.
thing. Ben's a tough dude.
I can't imagine, because he was young when he come up here, and they was like, Dom even talked about him afterwards, like, your cousin coming back? I'm like, probably not, dickhead. He was like...
He was going to take some fights. He was going to...
dude, Ben's a beast.
But Gail and Rhonda didn't want him to...
Didn't want him doing it?
No.
Well, he was good. Dude, he held his own. They remembered him. He definitely made a mark.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what I have
Gail
to
and
say.
Rhonda, we
But
know
I
you're
feel
smart,
bad, dude. I
and
feel really bad. I have to say that. I was like, I was hurt about that afterwards. I told my buddy about it, and he was just like,
He doesn't talk about it, so it must not be that scarring.
Well,
I brought him up because of his guitar playing, not his...
Well, I didn't know Ben played guitar. That's awesome.
I didn't
that
know
he played
either.
guitar.
Oh, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, dude, I know that Bill, you talked about Ben a couple times before.
yeah, dude, he's a solid. I like him, dude.
Yeah.
He's a solid kid, man. I wish, you know,
Man.
hopefully in our jujitsu, you know, whatever, we'll meet up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still...
Still doing it?
I think he's still doing it, yeah.
He made black belt.
Did he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was running...
Oh, yeah, 'cause
he was running a... I don't know, what do you call jiu-jitsu? Is it like a...
A studio,
studio or whatever. Yeah, he ran one in
Montana.
Montana. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the town. It was between Missoula and Hamilton.
All my friends have moved to Montana. Or I shouldn't say all my friends. A lot of my close Atlanta friends moved to Montana.
It's awesome out there.
They're trying to get me to go out there, and I said it's too far away.
Well,
Too
I mean,
far
what's
away.
the attraction? Just so I know.
Well, everybody left the movie industry and moved on Montana
What
doing
are they
something.
doing there?
I don't
Is it
know.
movies?
No, they're not doing. I mean, movies are happening in Montana for
It
sure.
might be
Sheraden, Taylor Sheraden is like
Well,
That's
they're
his
they're
land.
in. Well, I told you the story
Yeah.
of the pawn shop, right?
Yeah.
They're filming
Dude,
Yellowstone out there.
shout out to Gregg Dodd.
Yeah, they're filming Yellowstone out there, and there's this ranch out there, and I forget the name of it, but anyway, that's where they're filming and blah blah blah. So they come into the pawn shop to look for just stuff for the movie, stuff, and and they're talking, and they get to talking, and the guy looks and he sees Ben and Gail's card, and he goes, Dodd. And he goes, yeah, I'm Dodd. He goes, you really in relation to Bob Dodd? He goes,
No fucking way.
He goes, yeah, I know Bob Dodd. I worked with him on a movie here and blah blah blah. So, yeah,
Yeah, he passed away. Heart attack. Yeah. I don't want to talk about
I
it.
gotta take one more record.
I don't want to talk about it too much, but he was a good grip. He was a grip.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a grip. He was a good grip, and Matt was a. Yeah, I'm sorry. He left behind some daughters and a wife.
That sucks.
Yeah, he passed away of a heart attack, and shout out to him. One of the things that I really liked about him was when we were coming up, he really took people that was trying to learn the craft and teach them things. And when you were in Pittsburgh, or here, when we were in Pittsburgh here, trying to learn things, a lot of people maybe assumed you already knew the job, or, basically, they didn't give you the respect that you were new. He gave a lot of people a chance to learn some things.
Learn some stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And, shout out to John Morrison and everybody else in the Pittsburgh film crew. I love you guys, man.
Is John still working?
No.
No.
His boys are the big dogs in town, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tommy and Tyler they're the bee's knees.
They're still in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
now?
they're still in
doing it here?
Pittsburgh. Yeah, they're still knocking it out, doing the good work
They
here in
doing
Pittsburgh.
Mayor Kingston or
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're doing. So I haven't worked in the film industry really since August of 2024, and and I've been in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Atlanta stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going
it
on in
seems
Pittsburgh.
like a little more is coming back to Pittsburgh. There are some things going on here.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is always the last to. For instance, like if the film industry is falling off, Pittsburgh is the last to fall off.
But if it's picking up, it's
And
the
if
last
it's
to pick up.
and no, it's the first to pick up.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh. A lot of people know about Pittsburgh, and the topography of Pittsburgh is one of the things that makes it like the best to be at.
Because you can get any shot. You can do city,
Dude,
country.
Yeah, man. You are literally 15 minutes from a horse field.
Mm-hmm.
You're 15 minutes from a stadium. You're 15 minutes from whatever, anything you
A
want.
steel mill.
Yeah,
a mill.
You're 15 minutes literally away from anything you want in a movie production. If you need an old school mansion, you're 15 minutes away from an old school mansion that's still operating and beautiful to be at, and you don't have to do anything like scenic or any kind of prop making to make that home or whatever. Pittsburgh is a what do they call that when you have when you're playing cards? It's like a wild card.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is a wild card. And a lot, if productions, I know AI is out there and doing a lot of things, but productions, if you want a wild card, go to Pittsburgh. I'm in Atlanta now, so I can't say that I'm an Atlanta native, but I have lived in Atlanta the last 7 years, and I love Atlanta. I love Georgia. It has a great film establishment there. I mean, like, there's so many beautiful studios that you could work and have, and once again too, like, you could be maybe 20 minutes or a half hour away from any kind of thing you want. But Pittsburgh, it's inexpensive. The talent is here. And I'm in Sheraden right now. For folks that don't know, I'm in Sheraden. And shout out to Atlanta folks. I'm not saying anything bad about you guys. I'm just saying Pittsburgh, has a lot of talent and a lot of different places to film. Atlanta has the same thing. But yeah, man, Pittsburgh is
You got to pick one, dude.
Can't pick any, dude. I can't pick any.
Funny
You're on the spot now, bro.
funny
You
story
put your
about Tyler is Greggy.
Yeah.
He's talking about he's going to go this
Tyler
wedding.
Morrison, shout out to you, bro.
And, you know, he's going to his buddy's getting married and blah, blah, blah. And then you go to the wedding. Blah, blah. So anyway, I see pictures of the wedding posted and I see Bev.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whose wedding did you go to? And he goes, my buddy Tyler. I said, what's Tyler's last name? He goes, Morrison. I said, do you know we're related to him? He goes, yeah, I kind of knew that. We talked about that. I'm like, it was just weird.
We're related to everybody, it seems like.
Yeah.
We're related to so many
I don't know
different
if that's
people.
a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, I don't know. Like so many people are
You
like,
gotta pick one though, bro. You gotta pick Georgia or Pittsburgh. I live in Cali, so I'm neutral.
no, you're not.
I would pick Pittsburgh.
Show me your rainbow flag.
That's San Francisco, bro.
No, that's you.
A rainbow
California.
flag.
California
No.
gets the
Like,
rap.
yeah, I mean,
Wait, San Francisco is in
The land
California.
of
I forgot.
fruits and nuts.
yeah,
A
dude.
lot of fruits and nuts.
Dude, like shout out to the fruits and nuts though, man. Cool for you. Good for you. But you know what? I can't choose Pittsburgh or Georgia because I mean, like I grew up in Pittsburgh. My film, I mean, like basically all my chops were in Pittsburgh, and thanks to John Morrison and all the folks that are in Pittsburgh. But I think that I really grew my wings in Atlanta. So it's like I cut my teeth in Pittsburgh, but grew my wings in Atlanta. If that makes any sense.
Because
So-
why?
Well, I mean, like,
Because
well, so
why? Like,
Pittsburgh, if you think about it, it's a small fishbowl. We have 2 or 3 shows that happen in Pittsburgh at a time. If you're not who's who of Pittsburgh, then you're not getting the job. If you're a third, like I was, then your who's who wasn't going to hire you because he didn't get the job, and you were hoping that so and so from the grip department was going to hire you for rig and grip, or so and so was going to hire you for special effects. So like you were like kind of like bouncing back and forth from department, so you didn't have a chance to really hone your skill, and people didn't hire you because you were Momo's cousin. So nepotism wasn't going to really work. Like, oh, I hired you and you didn't know anything. You're Momo's cousin. So it's like, well, Momo got me into this industry. I've been working here for 2 months. I don't know anything. I don't know why you would think I know stuff. So there was a lot of turmoil when I was coming up. A lot of people were fighting for jobs. It's very competitive. When I went to Atlanta, there were so many jobs. Nothing was competitive. So you were able to be like, all right, I got this. I got the job. I can shine. I can show people I know what I can do. And people are like, oh, Bob's actually pretty damn good. And
oh yeah.
not only that, Bob does what he says he's going to do. So I got him with a crew, and Landon and Tyler, dude, thank you guys for feeding me so long. The Kraft family, thank you for feeding me so long. Thrifts, thank you. Twinkie, and
Is that a person? Or is
yeah,
it, yeah.
dude, Twinkie's the
I was gonna thank
awesome.
I was gonna thank Twinkie
He's
too.
awesome.
Like, thank you, Twinkie, and
Dude,
chocolate
Yeah,
milk.
he's a white dude. He's a
Dude,
softie
dude,
inside though.
dude,
He's a real
no.
cream puff.
so Twinkie is like if you think what does
I would
Twinkie
cheers you right now.
dude, if you think what does Twinkie look like, number one, he's a big dude with a soft heart. And his brother, baby Huey, all these people fed me while I was trying to do the film stuff. So, I mean, thank you to all those guys, man. Like Pittsburgh, you were fighting over stupid stuff to get work. And people wouldn't hire me because I was Momo's kid or Momo's nephew. Nobody knew. And then, once you actually said I can know what I can do, the people who would hire you died or they're
So Atlanta was a good move.
100%.
Hell yeah, Atlanta.
100%. So
Atlanta.
Hotlanta,
Atlanta.
dude, Hotlanta. 2 hours and 18 minutes into this, Hotlanta. Thank you. But I'm so happy I moved to Atlanta because I met a whole slew of people that were worthwhile just to move there for the movie industry.
Hell yeah.
We fell flat on our face, and we're not working right now, and that's why I
The
started.
whole Atlanta is pretty Dead or what?
Dude, yeah, America is dead right now for the film industry.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was
Haven't you
gonna
watched
say-
any TV? It's pretty shitty.
I'm
on, man.
selective on my my TV watching.
Yeah.
Very selective.
I only watch films that Bob Dodd has worked on.
That's the only thing I watch too.
It's not a
Not
lot.
the podcast.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, Ozark,
So
I've
films
watched,
are.
I've watched Ozark 163 times.
dude. I've so many-
Ozark was badass. I gotta say, dude, Ozark was the shit. Bro.
I worked on a lot of awesome movies.
When you sent me those little clips,
Yeah.
I'm like watching them and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Well, that's cool shit. And then I watch the series and see it. I'm like, and I'm going back and I'm comparing and I'm like, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Like I try to like share the technical stuff that we do because like everyone thinks like, oh man, you work in films, oh, it's probably chill and easy and whatever. It's like, nah, man, I worked 104 hours that week, and you know, like 3 people almost died. Yeah, it's like, you know,
I went and hung out with him one time.
I tell people this story.
So we went and electrical.
Jack Reacher.
We were working on Jack Reacher,
Uh-huh.
and so it was like fucking raining. And
Hold on,
you had
it was like 8 degrees out, and then with the wind chill factor, it was like -4.
anyways, come on, dude.
It's cold.
You know,
We're gonna
I
work
had
half a
job.
day.
I had a job, but he was like, you know, hey man, come on, just
We're
fucking
working a
work this
Saturday.
shit.
We're
need
only working half a
somebody.
day.
We need somebody, and we're gonna, you know, all right, fuck it, you know, whatever. We go out, and it's like you said, it's cold as fuck, and we're rolling out these cables, and it's muddy as fuck, and the thing's so hard. I worked as hard as I could. My back hurts so bad. I was like, fuck this, Bobby. Why don't you go back to roofing? Roofing's a lot easier.
He did say
I was
that.
like, fuck this shit.
We had a good time though.
Why
running-
would you fucking like to go back to roofing, bro?
When I started the garage door
So
company,
shout out to these fucking guys doing the movies, bro. You guys are fucking. Yeah.
The
I'm not
ri-
gonna
that
say.
was
I'm not
rigging
gonna
like-
say. I'm
yeah.
not gonna say roofing's fucking easier.
No, roofing's way harder.
It's hard, but because you have like different aspects. You got some fucking like uncles and
Unfortunately,
that will
you were
fucking
running.
yell at you.
Look,
and degrade
look,
you.
I brought Uncle Bill here on Jack Reacher to run what we call around the world, and it was a 9-wire run that was probably 2 miles long, and it was also 8-9 degrees below zero, and
sounds like payback.
And they were trying to hire me, and they're like, "Fuck your brother."
oh, dude, like, what? Your brother's not going to come back? I'm like, nah, man, he can only work Saturdays. Well, we got a lot of Saturdays.
I'm like, "Fuck this, dude."
No.
We're working every Saturday for the next 2 months out here at Tim's Rock Quarry, so we can have Tom.
Them guys were
Tom
hard,
Cruise.
bro. Hard, bro. Hard. Like the shit was heavy and cold and
So
just.
we have what
Was
we
this
call
in Pittsburgh or was this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
Pittsburgh.
this was outside of Pittsburgh.
And then you
This
had
was-
to wait.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
were fucking freezing and waiting, and then you had to hurry up and go and do it. It was,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
called the
some
coiled
shit.
spring, bro. The coiled spring. So like what it is like, so what Bill was working with was what for the film industry folks that know, he was introduced to the 1200 box and the GAC pack.
Whatever the fuck it was, it
And
was hardcore
the
right off the bat. Like,
9-wire
hurry up,
run.
run this out, run it out, run
Yeah.
it out. I'm like,
9-wire
all right.
run. And so for a horse, so this is a technical term. This isn't me cursing. It's called horse cock. And that is a type of cable. It's a 4/0 cable. It's
I know, 4/0.
Yep, 4/0 cable that has a really thick rubber shield, and they called it horsecock because it was so heavy. And our horsecock cables were somewhere around 100 and 110 pounds, like 100 foot. So Bill was asked to, throw, I don't know, hundreds of those out in a matter
2
of
on
hours.
each arm, and I'm like, what?
2 on each arm.
Well,
Yeah.
it was like 1 on each arm running. Right?
Yeah,
So they had to
yeah.
run, hurry up and fucking run because they
Lay
had to
'em
get the
out.
shot right away or whatever the fuck it was. and then when it was done, they were like, "All right, roll these
Roll 'em back
motherfuckers
up.
up. Hurry the fuck up!" And I'm hurrying. They weren't yelling at me; they're just yelling at everybody.
By
you
this
know?
time, the shit was frozen to the ground, so you're like trying to tug, and
Oh,
you're like,
yeah, bro.
"We need a machine to pull this stuff," and like Bill
I'm
had
like,
to
"You
pull
didn't give
by
me
hand.
fucking gloves, Bobby." I'm just barehanded.
Yeah, that was payback.
Just be glad you didn't work in the city in that time and all that shit and piss and all the homeless people poop, on the cable. Oh yeah, dude. So many times.
No,
Dude,
fuck that.
I remember we had to evict a homeless lady from one of our step ups, and a step up is if you're in the film industry, we have these things. It's an aerial man lift, and what it is, it's like a 120-foot aerial man lift. So you get in a basket and you raise up. It's a machine, and what we use to level those things are called roll-ups, and they're big pieces of wood. I can't tell you how heavy they are, but a homeless lady was sleeping on one, and we had to evict a homeless lady, and she wouldn't leave. So we actually had to call the police to get her off of the roll-up in Atlanta. This is in Atlanta. I mean, it happens in Pittsburgh too, but yeah. But no, I mean, hey, I'm going to wrap this up. And, Greg, Bill, dude, this podcast venture that I'm on, Pinbox Productions, the whole thing.
Pinbox.
This is a crazy, when the film fell on his face, even people would consider me, I think, a nice person to work with. That's why I got hired. Thanks to all the folks that hired me in the past. I mean, like everybody knows, I try real hard, and this whole podcast thing wouldn't even be happening if the film industry didn't fall flat on its face. So thanks for everybody that's listening, and thanks to my family for coming out. And if you guys liked having Bill and Greg on, listening,
we are available.
Yeah, they're available.
Work for cheap. Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap.
And
we got so many more stories. How many beers? I didn't get
So Greg is highly successful. I don't know how he's available.
Because I'm retired, dude.
Yeah, dude, you look so good to be retired.
It feels so good to be retired.
Dude, cheers, everybody. I got a little
but
bit
he
left in
doesn't
here.
drink anymore with some kind of sad.
I don't drink a lot.
Oh, you didn't drink a lot?
I still drink.
Look, dude, when you got to maintain what you got to maintain, I mean, you don't maintain that by drinking.
I don't ever drink light beers. Look what I'm doing. Look at me.
He's drinking
Busch
some Busch Light.
That's
almost-
because my
that's almost
real
as bad as
brother-in-law.
Hey, real quick story. Shout out to Ken Baker, the movie maker. He told me a story real quick, and the reason why I'm even bringing this up because the beer my brother is drinking is Busch. He's got a huge stack full. So Ken Baker, the movie maker, was working on a movie. I'm not going to say the movie, but oh my gosh, should I say it? Okay, I'm going to say it. Ken, I'm sorry. This is your story, and when you come on, you can tell it. But Ken Baker was working on a movie. He is going to an island on a boat, and he has all the knowledge what's going on with the movie. When he sees a whole bunch of makeup artists coming and hairstylists coming, he asked the hairstylist, like, why are you guys coming on? Why are so many hairstylists coming on?
A podcast or a movie?
No, this is a movie. Ken Baker, the movie maker. I mean,
We didn't get hairstyle.
We didn't get a fucking. We didn't even get.
Listen, if Ken Baker,
I didn't even get chopped.
We didn't even get air conditioning.
By the way, you didn't even get. We're in Sheraden right now.
108 degrees here in Pittsburgh.
For those of you who say, "Oh,
Thanks,
I don't
Bobby.
know how
I
you
don't know
could,
how he's wearing a
I don't know how
fucking
you could grow
long-sleeve
up without
shirt.
air conditioning."
Listen, guys, we're
You know,
in
that
my
is
mother's
true that
house
we
that doesn't have
didn't.
air
We did
conditioning.
not have air conditioning.
We have box fans.
Box fans. But we had the fans that didn't even have grills on them. You could stick
and
your finger in.
mosquitoes like this big.
Well,
You can hear the mosquito hit the
Yeah.
fan too. You would know. You'd be like, and you'd be like, oh, that was fucked up.
anyways, I don't know if I should share the story because like Ken was like, I want to be on your podcast. I want to tell the story.
Save it.
All right, we're gonna say the story, but it has to deal with.
Ken, you got some explaining to do.
You have some explaining to do, but no, Ken Baker, the movie maker,
And you gotta have you gotta
trust
have
me.
Dale on. I mean, not the Ken, you're the man, but
no, well, Ken Baker,
Cousin Dale.
yeah.
cousin Dale.
Yeah.
Dale's going to be on, but every person on planet Earth has seen something that Ken Baker has done.
Shout out to Ken. Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah. So
Speaking of
Ken,
mosquitoes.
yeah,
Right?
kill that mosquito. But shout out to Kent. I'm going to save the Merkin story so you can tell it. I'll tell these boys after the cameras are done. But anyway, yeah. And Dale, come on, man. I'm going to come out to California sometime, and I'm going to do some podcasts. I have.
See, Cali or is he in Arizona?
I'm gonna call Greg.
He's in Cali.
He's in Lake Forest.
Don't tap on the table.
He's 5 minutes from the beach and hates the beach. I love you, Dale, but he hates
the beach.
I'm like, Dale, let's go to the beach. He's like, I fucking hate the beach. I'm like, what?
We love you, Dale, but we also love the beach.
Love the beach.
Love the beach.
Yeah,
Love
and
the
if you ever, when you do this podcast,
Yeah.
I want him to come out, and we will all.
Do you want to
stay
go
at
out to
Dale's.
California with me?
Yeah, Dale was like,
When
he's
you go?
so-
We'll have to book it. We're going to work on it.
Whenever you.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, we're still recording. Oh my! I told
We're
you.
waiting
this
for you, Beck.
Listen, my sister Becky is the nicest person on planet Earth. She'll do anything
Next to my
for
wife.
you. Yeah, next to. Anyway,
Had to plug that one.
yeah.
And she's got stories about Bobby too, so she's gonna be on the next.
She won't. She won't be on the podcast because she thinks that she's ugly, but she's beautiful.
Podcasts are evil.
I tell you what, there's nothing worse.
There's
nothing.
dead dogs without their
Yeah.
heads.
You are so beautiful.
Well, there's nothing
No,
worse
there's
than growing up than everybody saying, "Hey, man, is your sister single? I like your sister, dude. Your sister's so beautiful."
You're not gonna ever get that ever, Bobby, on any kind of.
Hey, don't hit the table.
Yeah, I'm trying not to. But
Yeah,
like,
you know what, Bob? Just stop with the noise.
yeah. All right.
is
Well,
professional.
hey, folks, thanks for stopping for the Bob Dodd Show. If you liked anything that you've seen going on here with my family, with anything, I got to tell you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and dude, I don't leave a comment. Like, tell me what you want to hear from these people because these people have way more stories than they told today. And shout out to all my friends in the film industry. I know you guys are going through a lot of crap right now, and you know what? It's going to be all right. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I want you to have a good night.
Good night.
See ya.
Dude, thanks for coming on, man. Greg, Bill,
You know,
love you guys.
Anytime, brother,
Love you
man. Love you, man.
All right, everybody.
Bob Dot Show. Love you.
It's the Bob Dodd Show.